Hey, welcome everybody to Saturday Night Alive, the Global Peace Tribe. That's you. You are all beautiful, perfect members of our Global Peace Tribe. And I want to welcome everybody who's watching on Facebook, people who are live in our Zoom room, and those of you who are watching the replay. We've discovered that about 25-30% of the people who watch the show actually end up watching one of the video replays. You're all precious to us, so thank you. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and it's been, like everything else in 2020, a very unique and different Thanksgiving, hasn't it? So we thought that we wanted tonight's theme to be all about community and family, because so many of us are missing community as we usually know it, as we usually experience it. So some of us were still able to connect, and others weren't. So tonight it's all about the power of community and this great, beautiful global peace tribe that watches the show and is coming together in so many wonderful ways. Now, speaking of coming together, I want to let those of you who are watching on Facebook, you can still come into our Zoom room. And that's a really great thing to do, because if you come into our Zoom room, then you can chat with us more easily, and we get your email address, which we only use for ourselves to let you know about special things like replays of this and previous shows that we've done, and upcoming announcements about our upcoming shows. So it's easy to register. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, pull up a little sheet here where you can see that. Go to www.globalpeacetribe.com. It takes about 30 seconds to register. And then you can come right into our Zoom room. And there's a lot of other wonderful things that happen. We give away special gifts and prizes and really make it a wonderful way, because we want to know you. We want to have your email address just for ourselves. It's not going to go out to anybody else. And that way we stay connected with you. So please register if you're watching on Facebook or elsewhere, globalpeacetribe.com. And I do want to thank all of our broadcast partners. We'll mention them by name a little bit later, but I know a lot of you are watching on Unify, and a lot of you are watching on Alan Steinfeld's YouTube channel, New Realities. I want to thank Brad Nye, our collaborating partner. You're going to meet him in a moment. But for taking us further along, I get to introduce to you a very dear friend, my producing partner, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to what is now our 34th show that we've done since the lockdown. This is the 9th show of our fall season, and we have 4 more shows for you, and we are getting ready to produce another winter season of 13 shows. And again, like Scott said, this is a very special show. Virtually, this has been in the way that we see community, feel community, and build community. And during this weekend, usually we're with community, we're with family, and we haven't been able to do that like we have. So a show like this, a theme like this, brings to light how important community is. And again, we thank Brad Nye, founder of Tribalize, who has pulled together this show. And the theme is the power of community building trust and coherence, because there's also an art to creating community, building community, and having that community be rich and serve you and the community that it serves. And we've got incredible speakers on and musicians, as always, that are going to highlight this theme and give us more understanding about creating community and establishing community in our world. So I'd love to introduce them to you now. We are going to have Fernanda Ibarra. She creates economic solutions for regeneration and the commons. She's focused in food systems. She's a social architect for harmonic patterns of being and doing inside organizations. And with her is David Rose, who's a designer and builder of regenerative community ecosystems. And he's the creator of Just One Organics brand and the founder of CEO Unified Field Corporation. And we're really happy to have Bill Koff and Zoe Alwyn-Koff. He's the founder of the Mankind Project, which has initiated 80,000 men, and Zoe and him have lived in community and been deeply engaged in the sacred art for decades. And together they deliver 65 seminars all around the world. And they co-authored the book, We Need Each Other. And we're also happy to have Diane Leaf Christensen. She's the author of Creating a Life and Finding Community. She's the editor of community magazines for 15 years, and she specializes in what works well in eco-villages and co-housing communities. And we're happy to have Stephen Brooks. He's a world leader in creating ecological communities, especially in Costa Rica, fostering models of thriving ecological communities. And he is the founder of Punta Mona Center for Regenerative Design and Botanical Studies. And we have Lotus Sattva. She's a new paradigm initiator and activator. She's been on the forefront of building community for many, many years. And we're happy to have Connie Baxter Marlowe and Andrew Cameron Bailey. Connie and Andrew are original thinkers, futurists, and filmmakers. They are the authors of the Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm. And as usual, we have incredible musicians. We have Bear Kittai, an entrepreneur, political organizer, musician, currently co-founder of Good Money, a new online banking forum, but he's going to bless us with his music. And we're happy to have Elisa Rose. She's a singer-songwriter and transformational facilitator. She's a creator of Inner Body Alchemy and incredible musician. Happy to have her. And Maitreya Wolf, who's an extraordinary woman who carries an array of truly beautiful gifts in the form of music, wisdom, and healing power. And for our meditation tonight, we are thrilled to have Michael Brian Baker. He intersects modern science and universal wisdom, such as yogic pranayama, Western philosophy, South American ethnogenics, and takes us deeply into the breath. We will also have Sherry Herndon. She's a new Renaissance woman of many talents. And I want to honor Brad Nye, who pulled this team together and is the founder of Tribalize. So thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. It's going to be an incredible evening. And I want to share that our GoFundMe tonight is going to be a little different from what we've been doing over the past months. Over the past 34 shows, we've actually generated from all of you that have given to us over $65,000 that we have given to extremely valuable nonprofit organizations and wildfire victims. Those people in the West Coast and Colorado that lost everything. It's been amazing. We thank you so much. And what we would like to request is we're getting ready to launch a new season, and we'd like to ask you for your help in doing that. It's a pretty huge task creating a show every month, but Scott and I are like that, and we just work nonstop and go for it. But we'd love to have a team. We'd love to do this in a professional way, and we'd love to invite you to give us your green love this show so that we can launch a new season next January through March in a totally awesome way and continue through the new year. So we'll talk more about that later. But I'll be posting the GoFundMe link as usual in the chat room, and we love all your green love. But right now I want to invite our co-host, Brad Nye, to come and talk a little bit more about the theme. Scott and I have known Brad forever. I would say he's a core part of our soul family for 30 years or so. And he is an amazing social architect. He's a community builder. He's produced so many events. He's always on the cutting edge of what's next and what we need to know. He is the founder of Tribalize, which is a conference that brings together all the people like on our show that are experts in community and community building, including intentional communities, which I know a lot of us would love to live in. And he's a lifetime producer, major networker. This is his show here that's coming up in April, the Tribalize, that's going to be happening in Grass Valley, California. And he's just a lover of life, always on the cutting edge. So I'd like to invite Brad now to come say a few words about the theme and begin the show. Thank you, Brad, so much.
Thank you, Deborah, for that beautiful introduction. And Scott, for putting this together every week, and Shareya Dharma, who also worked on this particular episode. So it's a big team effort, and you guys are doing a great job. This is a really fun format. This is a blast. I didn't realize this was going to feel so good, just knowing that we're all co-creating this together with our little bit of magic. I want to start with a quote from a mystic named Sadhguru. Many of you probably know his work, and he likes to say that we have the technology to solve every human problem on the planet today. We just don't have the consciousness to. And I say that because there's a technology, a social technology, that I feel is probably the most important technology that we have available to us. Can you guess what that is? It's the circle. That's right. The primal sitting around the fire, telling stories together. It's kind of what we're doing tonight. We're sort of in a digital fire circle right now. And the importance of this circle and employing it into our work, it's the place where we can build intimacy. It's the place where we can build trust. It's the place where we can build really shared connection with others. And if you think about it, it's the place where we really see each other. It's the place where we deeply share our truths and our vulnerabilities. And it's where we share our stories too. It's the original social media. I like to joke saying this. The circle sitting around the fire was the original social media, telling stories and passing them along. I have to say that we have this primal urge to gather, and it's really critical for our well-being and our health. Really, you know, this isolation that has occurred through these pandemic lockdowns is definitely creating a sense of disconnection and disharmony and disease in our lives. And hopefully we can get through this pandemic sooner than later so we can begin connecting more deeply. It was my sort of life's, work to see everybody, connect deeply and live together. I believe the cities are going to get more and more complicated and intense, and more people are going to want to get out onto land and live with others and potentially, grow their own food, create their own, power and electricity, and basically live more harmoniously in connection with nature. So a lot of our speakers tonight will be talking about very usable, very tangible techniques about how to build your community from the connection, from the heart connection up. And it's not as easy as just figuring out how to grow food and powering up your community. You have to create these coherent technologies that create the connection so that people can co-create together. So that's what I'm going to say. And we are building another conference. It'll be our fourth. It'll be next April. I'm very optimistic that we will have an in-person reality by then. And so I hope we'll see many of you in Grass Valley next April for Tribalize 4. So Deborah, Scott, thank you very much for having me. I'm now going to, introduce Maitreya Wolf as our first musical guest tonight. And Maitreya and I met when I moved up here to Grass Valley, Nevada City area. And she's an incredibly soulful musician who is very hauntingly powerful. The music that she plays speaks with great power. And she also does soul purpose mentoring for people as well. So I consider her a mystic and a sage, and I'm really honored to have her start our show tonight. Maitreya, thank you.
Thank you, Brad. I appreciate that. Good night, everyone. Hi. I'm Maitreya Wolf, and I'm pleased to be here with you tonight. The Zoom format is very new for me, so take heart in my awkwardness that we can all be awkward and gorgeous together. I want to give you an opportunity to just take a deep breath as we dive into this song. This song is called Take Your Place, and it's a rallying cry, really, that we will, each and every one, really take heart in our purpose for being here and show up with the fullness of our gifts in the most beautiful way that we can. All right, so nice deep breath together. Be a light in dangerous places when all other lights have gone out. The sanctuary in the heaviest storms because we need each other more than ever now. Ooh, need each other more than ever now. So send your roots deep into the earth, and from there raise your tree of life. Reach your branches out wide and be a place of rest before those on the longest flights. Don't fear the sorrow, don't turn your back on the pain. None of us knows how it will happen, but a feather will tip the scales. Take your place. Oh, 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 oh. Take your place. Oh, waking up, it can be painful. I swear on my life that beauty and the power to turn the tides is calling your name, so now stand up. Shake off the chains and be counted as one of the many who hearken to the greatest of all the calls. Greatest of all the calls, my love. Oh, oh, take your place. Oh, open wide to the madness we live in and let it break your hearts. There in the wreckage of the fortress of comfort where the greatest stories of the day will start. Stand in your power, trust and embody your gift. Nobody knows how it will happen, but a feather will tip the scales. Take your place. Oh, take your place. Oh, waking up, it can be wonderful. I swear on my soul that beauty and the power to turn the tides is calling us all, so now stand tall. Shake off the chains and be counted as one of the many who hearken to the greatest of all the calls. Greatest of all the calls of my love. Oh, take your place. Oh, take your place. Oh, dangerous places when all of the lights have gone out. The sanctuary in the heaviest storms, because we need each other more than ever now.
Thank you so much. Just the perfect way to start this show. I was not familiar with Maitreya prior to Brad suggesting her coming on. And so he sent me this link, and I thought I'd just listen for a few minutes to kind of get a sense of her. And I couldn't help but listen to the entire album. It was so beautiful. As you can imagine, all of you have just heard that exquisite voice. And this album, it's a journey. It's the kind of thing to like just really drop in, and it takes you on a very, very beautiful journey. So I want to encourage everyone to visit maitreyawolf.bandcamp.com and her beautiful album, Fertile Darkness. And Maitreya, I'm really glad you're going to be coming back on, playing a little bit later on in the show. So thank you. I'm not going to do a big introduction right now. Some of you met him in our early pre-show, because I want to take that vibe that Maitreya started and lead it right into Michael, who's going to do our meditation. And then we'll learn more about Michael after the meditation.
Good evening, good morning to some of you, depending on where you are in the world. We're going to just erase everything together right now and take a moment to drop in writing on Maitreya's beautiful, beautiful harmonic melody. Let's take a moment just to acknowledge the cardinal directions in each of our spaces so that we may dissolve time in between us, brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, aunties, uncles, whatever the social role is, to dissolve it now. And just to drop in for a moment on the feeling of being complete, being resolved. Let's move forward. Let's move it forward 36 months, 5 years, and just drop into your hearts now. Feel into it as already complete. Take a deep breath in through the nose together. And then we're just going to close our eyes for a couple minutes. Allow the body to get very, very heavy. Just let it go and drop. Allowing every cell in the body to just become liquid. We raise our frequencies to the highest of that which is creative force, that which breathes us now. Take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment and release. Being together, acknowledging deeper connection, more of that which is similar. Focusing on the children. Our connection being a model. Showing emotional intelligence. The ability to make challenging decisions with joy and optimism. Deep breath in. Breathe in the possibility of all of that which is falling into place. to release. Just relaxing and being together. With a childlike willingness to explore, integrate the lunar and solar channels within us. Deep breath in. And again, just release together. Being completely content with what is. When we prayed for kindness, generosity, compassion, and tolerance, this is what it would take to arrive at that space. Breathe in with gratitude. Deep breath in. And release. And now let's just turn in towards our hearts. Become aware of the subtleness of the beating of the heart. Feel the vital force pulsing through the body. We are alive together. We are human. Human beings getting better at being human. This is all an inside job, finding balance, becoming neutral, accepting that which is external, but becoming the witness and supporting all of those who are moving toward the earth ways or a more connected way of being. One more deep breath in through the nose, please. Please hold at the top. Just retain gently with the intention of creating a world worth inheriting by future generations. And on the release, we release love and understanding. Release with me now. When you're ready, you can open your eyes again. Thank you so much for these beautiful opportunities to connect. Know the tears as they fall are the purification of this earth. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, Michael, for getting us off to such a beautiful start. And he's got a wonderful website. It's easy to get to. It's trueawakening.com, trueawakening.com. And for over a decade, Michael has held solid ground at this extraordinary intersection of modern science and universal wisdom traditions. He has been very involved in yogic pranayama, Western physiology, South American ethnogenetics, harmonic frequencies, and sound healing. He does exquisite breath work, which we didn't have time to have him share tonight. But thank you so much for being with us. And again, I'll just go back to your website briefly. You can find out all about Michael by going to trueawakening.com. And may we truly all awaken with maximum grace. Thank you for being with us.
Mm.
All right. And it's time now for our next guest.
Yes, and I'm happy to do the introduction, Scott.
Oh, great, thank you.
And so our next guests are a partnership of Fernanda Ibira and David Rose. They work together and they also do things separately, but they are both working at the forefront of this community revolution, but more from the standpoint of looking at collective intelligence, looking at flow space, looking at regenerative economies, looking at regenerative agriculture. So I'm very excited to introduce them and have them share kind of a little bit of an overview of what's going on. Fernanda has been one of the sort of forerunners of the collective intelligence movement and one of the founding architects of a technology platform called Holochain, which you'll hear a lot more about in the years to come. And they are looking at economic solutions for this regeneration and for regenerative future and for the commons in general. And I'm grateful to have you, Fernanda. You've spoken at every one of our conferences, and I'm grateful for your always showing up for us. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. And thank you for being here. And thank you for the beautiful meditation, the incredible music. It just sets the container in such a way that makes me feel so present and also so humble to be around so many incredible people. Wow. So kicking it in with a big picture on regenerative economy. And, I want to start by saying that when people think economy, they normally relate it to things we know, like money, or, production and distribution of resources, or, I'll relate it to, the ways in which banks work, or I relate it to these boring spreadsheets that economists do. And it's not about us, it's about how people manage our economy. But it's really about how we create community. It's really about how we care for each other. It's about how we care for the commons, how we care about what is, the scarce resources like water or land or energy, or, and we can make it truly abundant and working for all of us in a way that it creates more life. So to be able to create true sovereignty and communion, we need to look into the aspects of economics, and we need to address capital in a different way and to redefine wealth in a completely new, with a completely new lens. It's true that money, it's one of the most powerful tools that we use to coordinate at scale. So that's how powerful money is. And the good news is that, well, I want to say that most of us already have studied that money doesn't really work to augment our collective intelligence, to be able to create the kind of world that we want to see, that is true, that is good, that is beautiful, that is going to create a life for not only for us, but for the generations to come. The good news is that it's a tool that can be redesigned and reinvented. And I want to speak about a particular lens of regenerative economy because, to really speak about regenerative economies, I would probably have to refine economics and regenerativity. But instead of going there, what I'm going to do is let's go to living systems. Let's look into something that we all have had contact with, that it's nature, and that works for billions and billions of years, has worked perfectly well and has created wealth at its core, because nature has deep wealth embedded in it. And the big question is, how do we evolve our economic systems to create deep wealth for everyone and also for our communities? And the way that nature does that is through symbiotic relationships, through mutualism, through a principle that in our work it's important, that we call the get mine, but grow ours principle, where it's really good to get yours, but let's grow ours, because that's the way nature does it. That nature doesn't extract and extract and extract on, and because nature knows that it needs to give back, that it needs to be circular. So from the lens of collective intelligence and the lens of meta currency, that is part of my work for many, many decades, the way that we do that and is looking at a principle of flow. Because nature is not alive because of the objects, but because of the flows. So if you go into a community and you go like, you want to create a thriving community, just ask yourself, what are the flows that I really want to see? Oh, wow, I would like to see collaboration. I would like to see communication. I would like to see reciprocity. I would love to see generosity. I would love to see joy and fun. And then from those flows, you can start creating little small hacks that will help enable those flows, that will help make invisible those that are already there. And there's ways to going into more concrete examples about that. And of course, in the realm of economies, there's a ton to study and bring about in regards to community currencies and mutual credits and time currencies and all that. But that's thinking again in terms of money. We want to be able to think about in terms of currency, in terms of flow. And to do that, we have to be looking deeper into the principles of nature. And here, I'm gonna, sorry, it's only 5 minutes. It's like a full ground of work in 5 minutes, but I'll get it to you for the principles.
Okay. So the task is big. The vision for our part of the overall picture is to regenerate every food system in every community on Earth. And so to do that, we have to be powerful, efficient, highly organized, and base everything on we call it sometimes a oneness-based perspective, a natural perspective, because then we're harnessing the power of nature to work within our systems. So we've identified 6 principles that we see in nature that we like, and we're baking those into everything that we do as best we can, and it's working. It's pretty amazing. Those 6 principles, I'll just run through them really quickly, and then I'll talk about how we're applying them. Abundance, mutuality, collaboration, creativity, efficiency, and generosity. And those 6 are in a purposeful order. And they actually don't create a straight line, they create a circle. Because from generosity, you circle back around to feeling the abundance of the system. And then you keep rolling through those 6. Abundance, mutuality, collaboration, creativity, efficiency, and generosity. The reason those are important is because all of our systems up until this point in our entire civilization have been based in separation and fear and a sense of, you could call it a selfishness, because it's not essentially and fundamentally and profoundly inclusive of the whole. So we look at nature and we see nature as a collaborative ecosystem with multifaceted operations that are all benefiting each of the participants and the whole. So in designing an economic engine that could accelerate, now we're getting a little bit more into the grounded, what are we actually doing, and how can you take some of this into your communities? Food is essential. Humans build community around food. We all eat every day, hopefully, and we exchange and barter with food, and there's something else that's really profound about food, more than anything else that humans do for the last 12,000 years, is we're actually engaging with the microbiome in the soil. And that's a powerful thing to really get to know and to increase your awareness, the depth of your awareness about the soil, because it's a network and it's already a community, and we can model after that too. So for example, in our bodies, if we're reasonably healthy, we've got about 10 times the number of microbes on and in our bodies than we do cells. So 10-to-1 microbes to cells. So you could say who's hosting whom, right? And then the other piece is the corollary to that is if you hold up a handful of really rich, microbial rich soil, you're actually holding more life forms, more microbes than all the people on the planet. So it's a vast intelligent network that communicates and does work and collaborates in a really highly efficient way. And so there are all these principles that we can start to engage with through food and through the regenerative farming of food. So it's really important that all of our communities have an active foundation in growing food. And so in order to accelerate that happens, we started a whole business, a global business actually, around the idea of creating these gentle drying centers that will be set up in communities around the world. We have one right now that we're piloting up in Oregon, and then we'll start 12 more, and then we'll start hundreds more after that. Each one will be able to buy $10 million worth of locally produced organic food. We've already piloted all the equipment, and we've got it running right now in Oregon. We're producing and selling our food. And as we scale, we'll be accelerating this dynamic economic engine that will be buying lots of organic food from local farmers and stimulating that economic development around these principles in the local food system. I'll just leave off with mentioning the 4 mission arcs that we address, that we feel all come together in an apex around this relationship that humans have with the soil. And those 4 mission arcs are creating stable local food economies, which has to do with our relationships with our farmers, making farming a thriving vocation, creating wellness in our population by mainstreaming healthy, yummy, really delicious, convenient food, pulling down enough carbon back into the soil to reverse climate change, which can only be done through massive amounts of regenerative farming that we'll be paying for, and then eliminating hunger by recirculating the flows of some of the seconds that are now being wasted. So those are some things to think about in your community development that, that you can apply. So thanks for the time and good luck.
Thank you very, very much. And obviously there's so much more that both of you have to offer. So I just want to bring up how people can find out much more. We can learn more about what Firananda is talking about and doing with newcurrencyfrontiers.com.
No, that's very old. You won't find anything in New Currency Frontiers.
Sorry, that's what they had created for us. So
yeah. It's a very old blog, but you can find out in commonsengine.org, which is in the chat, and I'll post a link with a discount for this gathering for the currency design workshop, which shows how to convert flows into and enable those flows. I'll leave it there.
Okay. Now, is your website still valid, David?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go back to screen share that. And David, just tell us a little bit more about justoneorganics.com. And that's, of course, how people can find you. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, justoneorganics.com is actually a retail shop that talks about our 4-point mission. We say Just One Organics is a mission that had to start a company so that we could mainstream the impact of the mission. So our contacts are there. If anybody wants to know more about how to accelerate your local food system economy, then you can talk to us or write us and we'll respond. But you can buy our good food there. There's great pictures of our food. But really the food is the engine. We all need to eat anyway, so we might as well recirculate that value and regenerate our world food systems.
Beautiful.
And we're designing a currency backed by food to be able to have people participate in a way to create that 4 points mission that David was talking about.
Right. Well, thank you both so much for being with us. And yes, I know 5 minutes is such a short period of time when you're doing such extraordinary work that's really changing our world. So thank you very much for who you are and what you're doing. And certainly hope to have both of you on one. We have other shows that go more in depth, so hopefully we can have you on one of those soon. Thank you so much. All right. Hey, hello everybody. So one of the things that I always appreciate about our show is we raise money. In fact, this show began as a fundraiser. Back at the very end of March, Deborah Giusti was going to host a fundraiser for a friend of ours. And then the pandemic hit and shelter at home. And she knew that I was very experienced with online programming. She said, Scott, let's do like a online concert and fundraiser. And we thought it was going to be a one night thing. Well, a lot of people liked it. They said, hey, during this pandemic, that really was helpful. Can you do it again next week? And it grew and it grew and it grew. And we now reach tens of thousands of people and have had so many amazing speakers. But we never stopped the fundraising part of things. And we, for the most part, for the first like 6 months, primarily found nonprofit organizations that we supported, Meals on Wheels and people that help the homeless, and really finding those local community organizations that were getting food and services out to people. And then the California, Oregon, and Colorado wildfires hit. And so many direct members of our community, people who had been watching our show, people who had been on the show, lost their homes. And so we started fundraising for them. And in total, we've raised over $65,000, which is pretty amazing. And it's changed a lot of lives and helped a lot of lives. Well, now I'm going to give you a how perfectly human moment. In all of this, because it all grew so fast, we never thought we were going to be doing this. We didn't think about the tax liability. And actually, unfortunately, because of the way we raised that money, we actually have a pretty significant tax liability that we kind of are stuck with. So tonight, our GoFundMe is for us. It's for Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. And it's going to really go in two directions. It's going to help deal with our tax liability. And it's also going to help us as we prepare and create a whole new winter season. Again, we thought the pandemic was just going to last for a few months. And that, anyway, it's become obviously much bigger. And all the predictions are that it's going to be a tough winter. So we are going to continue to bring this program and our sister programs where people can learn more about things like we just heard about. So to support us, we want to encourage you to go to it's our GoFundMe that we used to raise so much money in the past. And we've kind of reset it a little bit. Please just go to GoFundMe, put in Global Peace Tribe support. Also, Deborah is putting the link in the Facebook pages and in our Zoom pages. And we really, really appreciate your support. And to tell you a little bit more about this kind of unique time that we're asking for it to support Saturday Night Live, it's my pleasure to turn it over to my producing partner and very dear friend, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And first of all, I want to start by saying thank you, because we raised that $65,000 that we gave to so many nonprofit organizations and so many people in need who lost everything. And I want to tell you that was a really good feeling to write those big checks to the communities that are serving us now, the community organizations, and to people that lost everything but were just being open to receive what community could give to them. Incredible. But now also it's time for us to receive. And so that's why we're doing this GoFundMe, to help us continue to do this program, but also to continue to go forward and produce this show. Producing a show like this every single Saturday is pretty ambitious. At times I've said, Scott, we can't do this every single Saturday. And he's like, no, we're doing it. And by the grace of everything, including the higher forces that help us and a lot of collaborative partnerships, we've pulled it together in every show. We've done 34 shows. And now we're looking at a fall season, January through March. And we've got incredible ideas. We've got incredible collaborative partners, but it all takes some green love. So we're reaching out. Sometimes it's easier to give and sometimes a little bit harder to just ask and receive and realize this is not just for me and Scott at all. This is for you, because we're going to take that green love and we are going to cook on it and hire some people that could help, because right now it's me and Scott nonstop, few people helping, but we want some quality people to help us and really up level the show even more and continue to work with more people and get it out there more. So we're pretty committed to be here, and we just love your green love so that we can continue this in the fall, in the winter season, and hopefully throughout the whole year, just to be there for you. So it's our GoFundMe. You can go to Global Peace. You could go to GoFundMe and type in Global Peace Tribe, and you'll find us. Or I'm going to put the link in the chat room. And again, appreciate so much. It's really the power of community in this widespread level that can make this difference. Because if everyone gives $5, $10, a few people give 100 or more, that's how we were able to raise so much money. So when everyone chips a little bit in, it really creates incredible manifestation magic of the green love that can go out and make things happen. So again, I want to thank you for all you've donated in the past, and thank you for anything you're going to give tonight, and sending you so much love.
Right. So just want to kind of alert people that, again, this is a very spontaneous show. And our next musician who was scheduled to be here hasn't showed up. I did do a sound check with them earlier. So just kind of a word. Maitreya, would you be up for doing an extra song right now? Because I see you and you're amazing. And so I'm going to turn it back over to Maitreya. And thank you. And thank you for being, this is part of the spontaneous experience of creating a show like this. So thank you, Maitreya, for popping on in, and looking forward to hearing what you might offer us.
Perfect timing on my part. I just went to spend a minute with the cat, and I was like, oh, I want to go back and see what's going on.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. And Bill and Zoe, you'll be up next.
So if you heard that first song, that was called Take Your Place. That's about really trusting the unique gift that you have to bring forth to the healing of the world at this moment when we're really in the turning of the tides and in the time that we've all been waiting for. We're here. We're here, and we're the ones, we're doing it right now. It's happening. So this song, I think I'll play Courting Aurora for you all, and I just have to tune real fast. But Courting Aurora is a song that I wrote when I came all the way through my own initiation and finally emerged from many long years in the underworld into the light of the dawn, a fresh dawn in my own life, and realized I know the way. I know how to do this. I know how to be here in a very humble way, but I know this. I know this dance. So this is Courting Aurora. Quietly gather the midnight hours, the night is deep and cool. Onward I go to offer this holy cargo, the bounty of my soul. Out of the canyon her voice reaches me, current over stone. Onward I go in silver light to the waterside, to my lover's arms. I know the way. I know the way home. Courting Aurora, her shining tresses are jeweled with morning dew. do, no farther to go. Here I will rest a while as she bathes me in her gold. I've done what was given me, made the offering, sung over the bones, no farther to go. Struggle is laid aside and a new skin warms my soul. I know the way. I know the way home. I know, oh, I know the way. I know the way home. Quietly gather the midnight hours, the night is deep and cool. Onward I go to offer this holy cargo, the bounty of my soul. I know the way home. I know the way home. I know you are the way. I know the way home. 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 Courting aurora, her shining tresses are jeweled with morning dew, no farther to go. Here I will rest a while as she bathes me in her gold. I've done what was given me, made the offering, sung over the bones, no farther to go. Struggle is laid aside, a new skin warms my soul.
Just so beautiful. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
And we're going to hear one more from her a little bit later on today, but she's got a beautiful website, MaitreyaWolf.com. It's spelled MaitreyaWolf.com. MaitreyaWolf.com. Yes, let's live our mythology. You are definitely guiding the way for us in that way. Thank you so very much. It's really, really beautiful. Thank you for jumping in. And that's how we kind of do it here. We kind of all take care of each other that way. So
Oh, I'm always happy to share a little more.
thank you.
I got you.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to Brad, who's got a really special introduction to make next. So Brad, you're up.
Well, community building has been around since the beginning of time. And I think Bill Kauf was there at the beginning. I consider myself an elder, but Bill and Zoe are definitely elders in this beautiful space of community building. Bill, years and years ago, helped co-found the Mankind Project. And if you're a man on this planet and haven't heard of it, you're missing out. It's the most important men's network on the planet. They've initiated over 80,000 men, myself being one of them. And I was in a men's group for many years and so grateful for Bill. I knew of him before I got to meet him. And then I reached out to him one day and talked about Tribalize, and he was one of our speakers. And Zoe and he have been developing a course called Time for Tribe. And it's a course built on 20 years of building an actual tribe in Ashland. And so if there's any two people who really know how to make this work, they are them. So thank you, Bill and Zoe. Grateful for you both to be here tonight.
Cool. Thanks, Brad. Wow. Beautiful.
Well, I'm going to start off because Brad, that just tipped me over. You know, it's such an honor to be a part of this tonight, and with all these musicians and speakers. We're in this such a time of COVID that this is a blessing to everybody. So
It is.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, welcome. Stay with us. This has been quite a journey that we've taken, as Brad suggested, over the years. And it's not easy, man. It's really hard, but we did it. We worked. It took us 10 years to build our tribe, but our tribe is thriving and at a level where we're actually teaching others now. So
we just want to kind of share what is possible.
Yeah.
We both longed for tribe, for community, because we both knew how important community is. And our tribe now, after we're going on our 8th year of 19 people together that meet every week. And our tribe is non-residential.
Yeah, so it's real different from what other folks have been talking about, because we don't talk about land or anything. We're actually inviting people just in a given community, preferably bicycle distance apart, to gather up into what we call a tribe.
That bicycle distance is metaphoric.
It could be an electric bike, that's right.
So we were in men and women's groups, both of us, for years. I was a founding member of Awakening Women. And in the 70s, I experienced all sorts of communes in New Mexico. My sister was there at New Buffalo commune early on. And eventually I lived in community, a spiritual community, for 14 years. And I saw its power, its beauty, and its pitfalls.
Yeah, and I was heavy into men's groups. You know, I actually wrote the book on it called A Circle of Men. That was back in the 90s. And in college, I was into fraternities, and as Brad pointed out, the Mankind Project has been such a gift. We honestly do have 80,000 men that have gone through the training all around the world, and of that, all of that, 10,000 of them sit every single week in circle, and we call it an integration group, but it's basically a men's support group. So there's 1,000 of those groups around the world. So at some level, I really have been building community for a long, long time. And it's been mostly men's work, you know, but then in 2005, I met my splendid wife, Zoe, at Burning Man. Yeah, go figure. And we found out that we both so wanted to build communities with both genders, all genders.
And of course, in this time, a lot of the men that you're talking about are in virtual groups. So the power of Zoom and men still meeting together is tremendous. So we figured out how to build a tribe.
Yep.
And
it took 10 years.
It's non-residential. We really wanted to make it as simple as possible and eliminate some of the stumbling blocks. So we live in our own homes, but we share values.
Important values. Yep. Lots of commitments.
And it really works.
So this business about you're here because you're interested in community. And what we're going to suggest is that the community that you probably want is for you. Now, I say that very specifically because there's a couple different kinds of communities. There's bridging and bonding. I got this from a guy named Robert Putnam, who wrote Bowling Alone 20 years ago about the disintegration of community in America. So bridging and bonding, he says bridging is groups that get together with a function. They're bridging out to serve somebody, to take care of homeless or poor people, or to take care of women or children. They're together literally to do a task. Whereas bonding groups, when people get together in a bonding group, it's all about us. We get together just for our own growth and evolution. And that's what our tribes are about. And that's what those 1,000 men's groups are about. And here's what's amazing is once people actually get together and they start doing their own inner work, they grow and they evolve and they get to a point of looking around and say, whoa, you know, I realize that my life is working and there's nothing to do but give. And from that point comes all of these incredible projects that serve other people. So I'm inviting you to consider building your own group for your own growth.
You know, Charles Eisenstein says that that we need far more intimacy than we can hardly imagine. So much connection has been lost. And we knew that was really important. And we wanted to create the tribe right here in Ashland, Oregon, where we lived. And there are some challenges and there are lots of mistakes that we have made over the 20 some years we've been doing this. So we teach you what to do and not to do. So we have some tips for you.
Yeah, you know that the tribes are place-based because we meet face-to-face. That's so important. And I know it's been so hard with the COVID going down, and God, we're hoping that that's going to be done. So we're doing our best on Zoom like everybody else, but we do whatever it takes to get together personally. So here's the first tip, so to speak, is imagine your tribe is something that's your creation. So if you have a kind of a vision of how many people and who those people might be and what you do at meetings, then you can begin reaching out. And what that makes you is like a founder, like it makes you a champion. And without that founder energy, it won't happen. So we're actually inviting you to actually imagine yourself as the founder and then take the help that's available to create it. And the thing about the founders is once the tribe is in place, they de-roll, they step back and they become just part of the group, which frankly for me was an incredible gift once we had our tribe mature enough that I could step back.
Yeah, we were very clear about the vision that it takes a certain kind of humility, the humble kind of leadership to build this, hold the point of being the champion until everybody has gone through the shared values. But it is important that the long-term vision is co-creative leadership.
Yep.
And you know, some of you may be familiar with spiral dynamics, and that spiral dynamics, all these worldviews have their strength and they have their weakness. But we see that there are strengths in each one of those, and we're not afraid to use each of those dynamics in our tribe building, including ceremony. So the second tip, to do this, we find that it's very important to discern who is a good fit for your tribe. You don't want to drag somebody into it who's going to be miserable in a situation where you're very authentic and speak deeply about your own experience. Not everybody wants that. So you need to carefully choose and gather the right people for your tribe. It's crucial for tribes that work long term. And we do have other tribes across the United States and in Europe that we've helped form. And right now, during this time of COVID, we've been guiding people to form connection circles as a beginning step. And these they're doing on Zoom, and they're doing a beautiful job of offering their gift of holding a format for people to meet around and let people get to know each other. Some people say, wow, you've restored my faith in humanity.
Yeah. And even before the COVID, we were suggesting that people create a connection circle and get to know a few people before they start making a clear choice. The founders do that. They get to know people and then they start making choices. So here's some other important details for tribes that work well. And this is, again, those that live in their own homes and live close to each other. So we consider gender safety to be a really important thing. You know, it's been 5,000 years of the patriarchy being awfully tough on the feminine gender. And so we actually talk about it and very deliberately invite people to build that into their tribe. And the other, really, I guess this is terribly obvious, but conflict resolution skills, we call it conflict transformation, because if it's done well, both people in that drama actually grow significantly. We've seen that. You can't believe how many times we do it.
Like it was about 2 weeks ago.
Where our tribe is a lot like family, where we're scrapping with each other sometimes, but we take the time to find each other and kind of learn to love each other again. It's amazing. We use our model is a little bit like the MKP clearing combo with nonviolent communication. It's a heck of a model. I'd be willing to share that. So we also do a bunch of work around what we might call bonding or intimacy. And they're fairly simple skills, but it really requires somebody to hold the group in a place where they do it. I mean, just skills like, wandering around and looking into each other's eyes and saying, I see you. It's amazing. So here's one of the things that we discovered that does not work. This is one of those admonitions. Please don't do this. And what we're asking you to not do is to call a whole bunch of people together and say, people, we're going to create community. Now it's counterintuitive, but I got to tell you, that does not work. What works is for the founders to actually carefully choose 2 or 3 or 4 people and then bring them into a certain skill set and then choose 3 or 4 more. It's actually a fairly slow organic process that actually works. So that's a mega tip about what not to do.
I know we're giving you a lot all at once.
Yeah.
But you're the kind of people that can take this in.
That's good.
Because we really, as Michael was doing his breath work, saying, we need to be human beings. We are human beings getting better at being human. So another thing I want to say is that that everyone takes a turn guiding the tribe. So it's this beautiful co-creative leadership. I think it was Thich Nhat Hanh that said the new Buddha is the Sangha.
That was Thich Nhat Hanh.
And that has been something that the people in our tribe longed for throughout their life, and to actually have it. And as I say, we're going on our 8th year together, which is pretty amazing. Yeah.
So once when I was, and I've done an awful lot of groups. So as founder of our tribe, after about a year, they were way mature enough, and we said it's time for us to de-roll. So they created this beautiful ceremony, and I became just one of the tribe. And oh my God, it took probably 6 months for me to realize that I could let go of having to do anything. And I was just part of the tribe. It was like I could fall back into the arms of my tribe, and they would totally catch me and love me. And so it's been for a lot of years now. So we want this for you. And I think they'll tell you, go to timefortribe.com and get that little booklet that we've prepared there.
So it might sound complicated, but it's actually based on this one thing: doing what it takes to simply learn to trust and respect and support yourself and other in a profound new way. And it means you need to take your place.
Thanks for hearing us, and blessed tribe.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think people are going to want to hear more. And a wonderful way to hear more is to go to timefortribe.com. And I love what they wrote, because this is what we just heard. We guide people in building their own loving, bonded, long-term, committed community. God. God bless you so much for paving that incredibly important way. You are pioneers of our generation, of this time. And I know that I'm 64, I've been around for a long time. And remember like 30 years ago, we were all looking for our soulmate. But then it transitioned into looking for our tribe, for our community. So thank you for showing us how to do that.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Scott.
It's our pleasure.
Well, I really love the music that we get to have in this show. As I mentioned before, it's one of the things that I love about my job is I get to meet all these amazing people. Like it's the first time I've met Bill and Zoe. And I also have met a couple of new musicians tonight. I talked about Maitreya, but this is another wonderful musician that I've just gotten to know as a result of being part of the show. And as you're about to hear, she's just exquisite. This is Elisa Rose, and she's a singer-songwriter and transformational facilitator.
Here's our link to our.
She's the creator, and Bill and Zoe, need for you guys to mute yourselves, please.
Oh.
Elisa is the creator of Inner Body Alchemy. It's a culmination of practices that guide all of us as we work with her home to ourselves. She combines somatic, spiritual, and vocal opening techniques. And she's been traveling the world sharing music and teaching for 10 years. And once again, the pandemic is keeping everybody, less travel, more home, but it's kind of a blessing for us because we get to have her on our show tonight. So thank you so much for being with us, Elisa. It's all yours.
My honor, Scott. I am so inspired by this container and what's happening here. And I love the share from Bill and Zoe right now. I actually grew up myself on an intentional community that my father started about 40 years ago. And I grew up with 25 people sharing a kitchen and bathrooms. And I know that model well. And I want to go to your website and learn about your model because I've come to want my own space. And I'm so grateful for the ways that we can connect and grow together. And it's all about how we catalyze each other, right? So I'm going to play a song called Hey Mama that I released just 10 days ago. And the song is a prayer to the divine feminine that sustains and gives birth to life. It is a prayer of gratitude for Mother Earth and to the mothering that all genders are able to give, that nurturing energy. So it's for everyone. And here it goes. Spirit, I call you. Spirit, I feel you in everything. Hear my voice. Use me to sing. Waterfalls quenches the desert. The earth opens herself again. On the ground below my face, it's a welcome way to go. This I know, I'm falling, 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 and the ground below reaches all. Light, light, sweet, beautiful light, light of the heart, open and wide, with the sun warm as we come on, dawn and sunshine. Come and wake me in the morning. I was sleeping and I rise with the light. Hey mama, hey, you brought me alive. Hey mama, hey mama, hey, hey. Hey mama, hey, you brought me alive. Hey mama, hey. It's a long road we're winding and unwinding our ancestors, keeping their heads high, keeping their eyes wide, bringing forward new life over and over, over and over, over and over again, over and over, over and over, over their heart open and wide, with the sun warm as we come undone and sunshine. Come and wake me in the morning. I was sleeping and I rise with light. Oh, hey mama, you brought me life. Hey mama, hey mama, hey mama, you brought me life. Hey mama, hey mama, hey. Oh, hey mama, hey mama, you brought me life. Oh, hey mama, hey mama, hey. Hey mama, hey, you brought me life. Hey mama, hey mama, hey. Thank you. Thank you. Bless you all.
Thank you so much. That just was exquisite. And thank you for honoring our ancestors. I got chills during that section of your ballad. So thank you so much. And she's going to come back. So we're going to get to hear her again. But I also want to direct everybody to make sure you write this down or go there right now. ElisaRose.com is where you can find out much more about her music and what she's doing. It's spelled ELISAROSE, ElisaRose.com. So thank you so much, Lisa, for being with us, and we'll see you in a little while.
My total honor. Thank you.
That's a hard act to follow. But I get to follow it with something that is one of my favorite parts of the show every week, and that is thanking you, thanking our donors. And so I've got on my trusty iPad a list of those people who have donated to us tonight. And I'll do this one more time. So there's still time for you to donate. I'm going to put up our screen so you can look at it. But the people who have donated so far, first of all, a lot of anonymous donations. So thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Anonymous and all of your aunts, uncles, and cousins that are generously donated. I also want to thank Veronica Johnson, Marcella Stevenson, Margaret McIndy, a lot of anonymouses, Marliana Cataldi, Terry Russo. Terry, thank you. You are always, every week, generous. And you're one of our regulars. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Annie Mitchell, Carla Martin, Kate Gallagher, Wendy Eden Harris. She's also somebody I recognize her name a lot. Kathleen Astor, John McCabe, Carol Weekly. Hi, Carol. More anonymous, Diane Meyer, Ayata Ayala. Oh, she was in my show last night. Brian Lancaster. I sure hope I pronounced this correctly. Yamleth Farias, Janet Cannell, Anonymous, and Bonnie. Thank you so much, everybody, for your generous donations, and please keep them coming in. We really appreciate that a lot. I also want to thank our broadcast partners. And so this is where we kind of go through and just briefly acknowledge all the people that are helping to get our show out to more people. So, of course, Unify. We are now on Unify every Saturday night, and we reach tens of thousands of people that way. So thank you. Really want to thank John and Summer Raymer, our good friends at the Sign Network. They do a sine wave every weekend for us on both my Friday night show and tonight's show, and that gets us out to about 50 to 75 Facebook groups and pages. Some of you might be watching us on Awake TV, and really want to thank Jay Mayer, Jan Kaplan, and Light Touch. They have been one of our primary sponsors. And you can go to light-touch.me, and there's all sorts of gifts and wonderful things for people there. Alan Steinfeld, our good buddy from New Realities Television, my organization, Love Coach Academy. Want to thank our friends at Earth Dance, Humanities Team, Portal to Ascension, Disclosure Fest, Global Days of Unity, Earthwalk, and one of our newest broadcast partners that we're really excited about working with, New Earth One. So thank you, everybody. And if you are watching on one of those other platforms, you can still come into our Zoom room. There's plenty of time. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com. That's globalpeacetribe.com, and come into our Zoom room. You register, we get your email address, and then we know how to find you, and we let you know all sorts of wonderful things. We'll send you the links to the replay, not just of tonight's show, all of our shows, 35 amazing shows. Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson and all these amazing musicians you may or may not know that you need to know, just like the amazing musicians you're meeting tonight, right? So register, make sure we have your email address. And with that, I am going to turn it over to my dear friend, my producing partner, the magnificent, wonderful Deborah Giusti, who I guess she went to Costa Rica since last week. So I love the background, Deborah.
Thank you again, Scott. And again, thank you everyone for all your donations. We appreciate it so much. And we're going to take that green love and send it right back at you in so many ways. So thank you. And I'm going to tell you about the new, December, what we have coming up. Because we've got 4 more shows for this season that we're really excited about. So next week, December 5th, our theme is Hidden Mysteries, Ancient Advanced Spiritual Civilizations, and How They Inform Us Now. This is a really important topic because it seems like civilizations are cycling back, and we can learn so much by studying ancient history that hasn't been in our history books. And this is being produced by our associate producer, Chirea Dharma, so thank you for that. We're gonna have William Henry, Tricia McCannon, Michael Feely, Brad Olson, and a magician, Sean J. And of course, some incredible music with iStar, with Wah, the incredible kirtan singer, and some poetry by Neil Gar. And then December 12th is going to be another incredible show, Relationship Mastery. We are going to have Deva Premal and Meetan. They are going to perform, but they're also going to talk about relationship because they are an incredible example of a incredible divine masculine and divine feminine relationship. And we're also going to have another musical duo, Pato Banton, the incredible reggae singer, and his beloved Antoinette. And they are not only going to play music, but again, they're going to talk about the dynamics of healthy, strong relationship. Because this is a season now that we're going into that it's all about relationship and family and beloveds. So this is going to be an incredible show. And then December 19th, we are crusting on the winter solstice activation. So we are going to use the powerful portal of that time and really come together to recreate, re-envision, to activate the new world that we want to create in 2021. So again, we've got great presenters for this. We're going to have Neil Donald Walsh, Starhawk, Mirabai Davy, Elizabeth April, Guinevere. The Stargate will be back with Prageet and Julianne, and additional amazing musicians. And then December 26th will be special moments of Saturday Night Alive, sponsored by Jay Mayer. Also, Jay Mayer is sponsoring the Relationship Mastery one. He's an incredible support for Saturday Night Alive and has really made this happen all throughout this year. So thank you, Jay. And so this is going to be special moments going back and choosing those highlights of the whole year. And we'll have some live musicians on. And with all your donations tonight, we are hopefully planning to go forward with the new season. Some of the ideas we have, and we're listening to you to come up with ideas for this as well. But on January 2nd, co-creating the optimum 2020 for us all, Angels and Miracles. During Martin Luther King Day, we are going to do honoring Martin Luther King, building community and coherence. Another one is we're going to bring back the Indigenous wisdom theme, understanding reunification in Indigenous people. We're going to bring back the connection with our star family, initiating contact and communications with our star family. We're going to bring back Global Coherence Pulse and deepen there. On Valentine's Day, love is a many splendored things. And we're going to go deeper into new paradigm realities around health. And we have many other ideas. And we also have a survey that we're going to put in the chat room here that will allow you to let us know what you'd like us to bring on, because we really want to be on the pulse of what's happening now and bring you the key presenters and the key themes that really touch us, inform us, and keep us in a really high vibe during this reset, during this birth canal that we're going through now into an incredible new year, newly created year for 2021 that we create together. So please continue to donate to the GoFundMe. That will allow us to bring this to you. And one more thing, I want to offer a gift to you, because Soul Tribe, Soul Family, and Community has really been a core divine mission for me. It's something that I identified way back in my teens, and I actually made a whole lifestyle of attracting soul family and soul tribe. So I want to share with you a book I wrote called Activate Your Soul Tribe. And I wrote this book about 2 years ago, but I think this book is more important now than ever before, because during these times we are feeling disconnected, separated, and missing our beloved, missing connections. So this book shares with you how to attract, identify, and activate your soul tribe. And it grew out of a lifelong passion that I've had that was expressed when I produced the Harmony Festival for 33 years, which was a major transformational festival offering music, arts, ecology, health, spirituality resources from 1978 to 2011, and grew to host 30,000 people in Santa Rosa, California, and really was the mama of the transformational festival movement. And with that, I saw how we can attract, identify, and bring together our soul tribe to help co-create, to help manifest, to work in high-level collaboration. So this book shares with you how to develop and benefit from rewarding support systems that can fulfill your life. It also allows you to understand and fulfill your soul contracts with your soul tribe and soul family, and develop beneficial and rewarding relationships in all areas of your life. So I offer this book free online as an ebook, and I'm going to put that link in the chat box. And you can also get a real live print book on Amazon, and I'll put those links as well. And Amazon has it all in stock, so you can get it the next day. And this is a great gift if you want to pass it on to someone in your soul tribe or soul family that you love. So please accept my gift. Please spread the word, because this can really show you how to bring in community, your soul family, and your soul tribe. And again, thank you so much for all your donations and allowing me and Scott to grow and glow into the next year. Thank you so much.
And thank you, Deborah. I just want to acknowledge how Deborah does such an amazing job of creating community. And I've read her book. It's wonderful, and it really helps us with a lot of insights. So take advantage of it. It's a free ebook, or buy it on Amazon and give it away to some people for Christmas. It's a great, great choice. Thank you, Deborah. All right, more music. And our wandering minstrel has found the right Zoom room. So we are really delighted to have Bear Katai with us. He is a serial entrepreneur, global community builder, and an innovation strategist. He's the co-founder of Good Money, where he leads business development. And prior to founding Good Money, he co-founded Organizer.com and has been responsible for helping scale the Burning Man movement into 30 plus countries. So with no further ado, I turn it over to you, Bear. Looking forward to hearing your music.
Hello, hello, hello. I am channeling here from the tip of California, all the way down the tip of Baja California, where the Sierra Nevadas begin on the meetings of two oceans here in San Jose del Cabo, where I live, where we're building regenerative communities and where we hope you all visit. And I'm going to share some music here from my heart. It's been a heavy time. We had a couple dear ones transition in the last 2 weeks. Our dear friend Malcolm Cassell passed at 50 years old just 2 weeks ago. And then this morning, Tony Shea, an amazing leader and entrepreneur who's just really dedicated his life to helping others and being a real example of how to use the power of innovation to do good in our communities and transform cities and the way we look at physical space and culture. So yeah, just really gonna play these songs just in memory for those who are in the transition, as we all are right now. And these are some original songs, and I'm about to put them out. So if you like them, you can follow me on Spotify or wherever you want, or come down here to Baja. Much love to you all. This song's called Be Here Now. Where have we been? Where are we now? And where will we be? Be here now. Be here now. Who have we been? Who are we now? And who will we be? To set the world free. To set the world free. The earth thanks the sun for shine its light on everyone. Here comes the rain. Much love, family. Who have we been? What are we doing? And what will we do? When it's all been done. How did it feel? How The earth thanks the sun for shine its light on everyone. Here comes the rain. The earth thanks the sun for shine its light on everyone. Baby, baby, my grandma told me music was invented for love. Baby, baby, my grandma told me music was invented for love. There's love in the mountain, it flows in the city. There's love in your arms. I know someday you will go, but our love will flow. Baby, baby, my grandma told me music was invented for love. Baby, baby, my grandma told me music was invented for love. There's love in the soil, there's love in the oil, there's love in the stars. There's love in the mountain that flows in the city. There's love in your arms. There's love in the heavens. There's love in the distance. There's love, I declare. There's love in our living. There's love in dying. There's love everywhere. I know someday you will go, but our love will flow. Baby, baby, my grandma told me music was invented for love. Baby, baby, Mama told me music was invented for blessings to all of you from Baja.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really, really beautiful and really fun. And people can get more of Bear Kitay at Bandcamp. It's Bear, like the bear, KITTAY.bandcamp.com if you want to get more of his music. Thank you so much, brother. I'm glad you found us. And what a beautiful, is your little one right there? Can you hold the
Yeah,
little one?
Kuma, you want to say hi? Here he is. His
Absolutely.
name's
Let's see the
Kuma.
baby.
Say hi, Kuma.
Look
Say
at that.
hola. Kuma,
And
can you
what's
say
his name?
hola? His name is Kuma. Kuma. Kuma.
I think Kuma just stole the show, I'll tell you.
¿Dónde está tu nariz? Ah, eso.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That was great. Beautiful. All right. Well, boy, talk about a hard act to follow. It's hard, following a baby, a naked, adorable little baby. But if anybody can pull it off, it's Deborah and our next guests, Connie and Andrew. So I'll turn it over to you, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And yes, I get to introduce, I think, one of the original power couples, Connie Baxter Marlowe and Andrew Cameron Bailey. They're original thinkers, futurists, and filmmakers. They're authors of The Trust Frequency, 10 Assumptions for a New Paradigm, a synthesis of indigenous cosmology and unified science. And they also live in an intentional community in Colorado. So a little bit more about Connie. She's an author, a filmmaker, photographer, and futurist. She believes that the only way out is up to the higher consciousness. And she has over 20 years with visionary experience with Native American elders. And she co-authored The Trust Frequency, which they're going to talk about. And Andrew Cameron Bailey, he's an inventor, an author, a filmmaker, a photographer, a futurist. He also co-authored The Trust Frequency, which I'm really happy they're on to talk about. He's the inventor of the carbon capture module, the Enviroplex, the Bailey Synergy Tower. He's a longtime student of consciousness, community, and climate. And both of them trust the loving universe every day in every way, especially with the amazing love between them and what they share in the world. And I think they've been with us on Saturday Night Live every show. They're always there with us in spirit and support, and we're so happy to have them on now. Connie Baxter Marlowe and Andrew Cameron Bailey. Welcome, welcome.
Well, thank you. I first just want to say what a wonderful show this is and this beautiful job that you guys are doing. We are so proud of you. We wouldn't miss this for the world. Just Saturday nights are just booked. Forget it for the foreseeable future. And secondly, just to be part of this collaborative tribe, there are so many of our friends, colleagues, loved ones going back as many as 30 years in some cases, and literally globally, people we see all the time within the work we do. So it's just very much an honor to show up on Saturday Night Alive. Connie?
Yes, and we're beaming in from the Butterfly Nebula and the Trust Frequency, where the laws are expanded and there's more beauty, balance, joy, and abundance than we can fathom. And Andrew and I have been on a journey together, the dance of souls, as we journey toward our self-love and self-acceptance and alignment with our divinity, which is the job we came here to do. And our heart and our mind are in coherence because we trust the loving universe. Yes, indeed, we trust the loving universe.
And of course, as everyone knows, the butterfly is the symbol of metamorphosis. And our work has to do with metamorphosis, which is transforming in an evolutionary sense into a higher way of being, which is where we are coming. We're actually coming to you tonight from a state of consciousness that we call the trust frequency. And this trust frequency, what's it like to be here? What's it like to be here? Well, firstly, we have this miraculous revelation that not every human being on our planet is aware of, and that is that we live in a conscious, loving universe. We are actually part of an exquisitely beautiful biological entity that the only name we have for it is the universe. The universe loves us unconditionally. It literally gives us everything we ask for. And most people don't experience that as well because they simply don't know that. We are an intimate part of the universe, and whatever we want the universe to make, what we truly want the universe to bring to us is what appears in our lives. So the message, and I got this message originally from the wonderful film, What the Bleep Do We Know? And it is this: we create reality with the power of our consciousness. But again, not everybody knows what consciousness is. It's the only thing we ever experience. But try getting a scientist to define consciousness. Try getting a psychologist to define consciousness. You go to the dictionary and it says consciousness is awareness. That's all it says. But there are 7 words beginning with the letter A that are attributes or aspects of consciousness. Connie?
Yeah, and these 7 words that begin with A determine our vibratory level, our frequency. So once we know that, and we know that what these aspects are, we've given these attributes of consciousness. There are many more, but our 7 A's of consciousness are, and I'll say them in one sentence: with expanded awareness and accurate assumptions, we choose our attitude, consciously direct our attention, align with our highest inner promptings, take committed action, which is the kicker. We have to act from this place. Take committed action and allow the loving universe to manifest beyond our wildest dreams. So,
So yeah, this evening's about community. It's about gratitude. It's about love. It's about Thanksgiving. And yeah, so I think you all know that we live on this beautiful 400-acre ranch in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. Many of you have been here. We've seen Brad here. We've seen most of you here. And I think maybe the primary message here is that everything in our lives happens for us, not to us. So we are not victims of circumstance. We are beneficiaries of circumstance.
and when we understand, we write our movie and everybody's showing up for us with the script we've written. Our soul actually asks for certain behaviors. We shift from victim to beloved, and we go from blaming others to gratitude for the gift they have brought us.
Even when it's painful at the time, we just put a little gratitude in
the
our
attitude.
attitude.
And we have an online course called The Dance of Souls. And we also are bringing out and launching right now our ebook, The Conscious Loving Universe, a
Tonight,
guidebook.
Here and now on this show, we are launching a
now.
brand new ebook, and it's free for anybody listening now and into eternity. if they're watching a rerun of this show. So,
Yeah. So that's it, folks. Thanks.
Now, hold on. I want to make sure everybody really understands this is really special. So if they go to thetrustfrequency.net, that's where they can get the ebook?
Yes.
that is correct, Scott.
Yep.
Wow. All
If you
right.
simply go there, you will be directed. It'll tell you what to do. And the minute you contact us, we will need your email so that we will know where, because it'll be a PDF. And we will send it to you as soon as we receive your request.
And people can go to the Dance of Souls from our trustfrequency.net. And they can also buy our book, an autographed edition from our website, which we would really appreciate rather
The
than
book
going to
is-
Amazon.
The book is The Trust Frequency. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's us.
So what a
And-
treat, friends. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we just want to say that, as Rumi says, gratitude is the wine for the soul. Go on, get drunk.
And we can summarize this entire 5-minute presentation in 4 words. Trust the loving universe. Thank you.
Thank you. I want us to just really ruminate, no pun intended, ruminate
Ruminate.
on what you just said, because 2 things. It is so beautiful when we get drunk on the wine of gratitude. When we come together, and this is gratitude weekend, it's Thanksgiving weekend. And so I want us to just really take in what Connie and Andrew said. It's a powerful time. And so I also want to recognize that at the same time that we're being grateful, there's challenges. I'll be honest, today is the anniversary of when my wife died, November 28th. So as we are grateful, we also acknowledge the things that we mourn, the things that we miss. We miss those of you who didn't have Thanksgiving with family or community as you normally do. Those of you who have lost loved ones, whether it was a long time ago, my wife passed away several years ago, or whether it's people, as Bear Katai just shared with us, that have died very recently. A lot of people are leaving the planet right now. And so before we go into gratitude, I do want to acknowledge that we're not promoting happy, happy all the time. It is important to mourn. It is important for us to have empathy for those friends of ours who are struggling, or empathy for ourselves if we're struggling. And it's also important for us to tune in and find that which we can be grateful for. So I want to invite everybody, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're in our Zoom room, even if you're watching the replay, let's close our eyes and let's just breathe together as a great, beautiful global peace tribe for a minute or 2. And as we close our eyes and as we inhale, everyone inhaling at their own pace, a reminder to take a pause in between the inhale and the exhale. The mystics tell us, Rumi told us, that space in between the inhale and the exhale is the space of the infinite void. And that's a good place to be grateful. Even if it's just grateful for these incredible, beautiful body temples that we get to live in. As spiritual beings, having a human experience, enjoying the senses and the joy of connection in community. Deborah, if you feel inspired, I'd love to Who would you like to add to this prayer, to this brief meditation?
Sure. What I'd like to remind us is that what we appreciate appreciates. And what we're appreciating now is community, the power of community. So I'd love for wherever you're at in the world, and we can feel you and see you if you post in the chat room what you appreciate about community, how that inspires your life, how that brings more love in your life, how it helps you to co-create. What is the power of community in your life? And what would you like to call forth? And with that, say where you're from, and we can feel us as a representation of the Global Peace Tribe all over the world coming together to really support each other in the high vibe we're here to manifest now during this unprecedented time in the planet. So let's appreciate community, because what appreciate appreciates.
And we really hope everybody will write in the chat box or in the Facebook comments what you're grateful for about community. And while we're silent for a couple of minutes, Maitreya is going to play some music and then lead into her next song. It's beautiful reading what you're writing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Maitreya, for spontaneously kind of supporting us in that way. I'm loving what everybody's writing. So beautiful. And take it away with your next song.
been a long, dark night, and I've been praying for the morning. It's been a long, hard fight. I see a brand new day is dawning, and I've been looking for the sunshine, 'cause I ain't seen it in so long. Everything's gonna work out just fine. Everything's gonna be alright. It's been all wrong. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay now. It's been a long time since I've known the taste of freedom, and those clinging nights that held me bound, well, I don't need them. Oh, I've been like a captured eagle. You know, an eagle's born to fly. Now that I have won my freedom, like an eagle, I am taking to the sky, 'cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. That song, when so I live here in the Northwest, and this summer this land was ravaged by fire, and for over a month it just smoke just sat on the land, and the coronavirus was, crushing so many things underfoot, and people were struggling so hard because, we couldn't go outside anymore. Like that last refuge of the Holy Earth was suddenly no longer available to us for that time that the fires gave their smoke to the land. And that song came to me. It's actually a really old Dolly Parton song, but that version is a Waylon Jennings interpretation of it. And the first time I heard it, I just started to cry. And I had a song that could finally hold me in that place of knowing that the dawn is coming, and I don't fear the dark. I'm a person who sits deeply in chthonic wisdom in the underworld, and I'm comfortable there. But it's important to know that the dawn is coming when it seems like it's not, because sometimes these days it does, and it's good to have a song that can carry you into that space. So I give honor to all of us for walking through these times with as much grace as we have. It's a hard time. It's a hard time to be in as much unknowing as we are. And it's a hard time to have as much grace as we've brought forth. But I see an unbelievable amount of beauty and grace being brought forth in the world. And I'm honored to be a person participating in the great story of the world right now.
Maitreya, thank you so much. You've contributed so much to us tonight, and that song was so soothing. Remember, everybody, all these shows are recorded. If you're needing soothing, like it gets really intense, pull up this show. You'll find it on the internet. You'll find it in the replay that Deborah sends out on Monday, and just listen to that beautiful song she just sang. Well, it's like a lullaby for our global tribe, a lullaby for our world at this time. Thank you, Maitreya.
Yeah.
She is, as we probably can tell by now, a multi-talented woman. Of course, we have a sense now of her music, but she's also an amazing teacher and counselor. So you can get her music at maitreyawolf.bandcamp.com. We showed you earlier her website, maitreyawolf.com. She's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, and tell us a little, just briefly, we're a little over time, but tell us briefly about your counseling.
My counseling is based in going down and in, because I'm an underworld woman. So it's about connecting with soul, which is down and in, as a balance to spirit, which is up and out, which we do a lot of these days as a way to try to escape our human experience. It's really about connecting with soul as a path of healing and integration and empowerment, and as a way to step into the fullness of our experience. And it deals a lot with healing trauma, healing and integrating trauma, and integrating the different parts of ourselves, what's sometimes called parts work, or internal family systems is one formal term for it. It's about getting to know what I call the counsel of the self, so that you can recognize which voice is speaking and leading at any given moment, and you can have deep relationship with all the different parts of yourself, also as a path of healing and empowerment. Because I believe that when people are in deep relationship with their souls and in deep relationship with the many different facets of themselves, then they actually become the power source that they are meant to be in the world, and they can fulfill their gifts and their purpose with greater access to the incredible life source that defines who they are as a being in this moment.
Thank you. And I do know that that work is powerful and it works. So thank you, Maitreya. And we look forward to hopefully having you back on the show again soon.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brad.
Brad has an introduction for us.
So I just, I want to acknowledge all the speakers that have gone so far, and I want to thank the speakers coming up for their patience, because there's a little bit of a marathon happening here. Thanks everybody for sticking with it. It's such a great topic. We have Diane Leaf Christian, we have Stephen Brooks, we have Lotus Sattva and Sherry Herndon all coming up, so stick around. Diane Leaf Christian, Thank you for joining us tonight. You are definitely one of the elders of this community movement. You've written one of the definitive books called Creating a Life Together. And if you haven't read it, it's definitely one of the Bibles of this sector. And Diana has written for Communities Magazine for 14 years and written articles about eco-villages and what works and what doesn't work. And as well, she teaches the most important thing and work she's doing now is on governance. And she's teaching sociocracy. And I highly recommend that you look at one of the courses she has coming up next year rather, and do an online training with her. So Diana, thank you for being here with us. And we're very excited to hear what you have to say.
Hello, thank you. Before I show you my little slideshow, which I prepared, which is exactly the right amount of time for what we have, I want to say that what Maitreya said about going down and in and getting connected to your soul in parallel with getting connected to your spirit is ideal for people who would like to live successfully in intentional community. Because the more we can heal our own selves and become as deep and powerful and effective and authentic as we can be, the better we will be able to serve our community, and the more we'll enjoy it, and the more our community neighbors will enjoy us. So let me now just go to a screen share here. I want to show you the slideshow. Okay, so we're talking about how we want to have compassion for ourselves and the world, and a affection for community, and appreciate community. And so I'd like to talk a little more about intentional communities. I live in one, and Connie and Andrew live in one, and Bill and Zoe created one, which is not residential, but still is an intentional community. So what is one anyway? A group of people who co-own or who rent shared land, and who have shared values and a shared common purpose for their community. These are the different kinds of intentional communities that I know about. And I'd like to share what I think of as the 7 benefits of community living. Somebody else who lives in community might say there's 9 benefits or 5 or 25, but these are the ones that I've identified that I like the best. It's more environmentally sound, it's safer, healthier, cheaper, more satisfying. You develop new skills and abilities, and it's more fun. More environmentally sound for the planet, for yourself, for your neighbors. From natural building and composting toilets to various kinds of agriculture to off-grid power. And it's safer. You can raise a family or grow older in a community in the good company of friends. Healthier for your physical health and emotional health. Cheaper. All of these pictures, by the way, come from intentional communities, most of which I have visited, but some I just got pictures from. But most of these pictures, I've been there, and it's more satisfying. And you can develop new skills and abilities, like these orcas learning to leap out of the water. You too can learn to leap out of the water as well as these other things. And more fun. So again, the 7 benefits as I see them. So I've been studying intentional communities for a long time, and I finally realized way after I wrote both of my books that there are essentially 3 things that any community needs to be healthy and thriving. One is effective project management. Another is to do shared enjoyable activities, which tends to create a sense of trust and connection among the people having the shared enjoyable activities. And another is to develop good process and communication skills. And by this, I do mean usually nonviolent communication, which I highly recommend, and the restorative circles process, which is a conflict resolution process. And I found that at the basis and foundation of all 3, and which absolutely affects all 3 and can make or break any and all of these 3 things, is to have very effective community governance and decision making. So I recommend sociocracy, which is a decision making and governance method. Sociocracy is a made up word. It means governance by peers and colleagues. So let's just take a brief look at what it is. You get better meetings, you get more done, you can be better organized and feel more connected if certain requirements are met, which you'll see. But these are the benefits that many intentional communities and member-led groups and networks, not to mention businesses and nonprofits, can experience when they use sociocracy. It's 3 things: a governance structure, decision-making, and feedback loops. The purpose is to organize and accomplish work tasks and to have a more harmonious group. 3 values: transparency, equivalence, and effectiveness. There are 7 basic parts: using feedback questions in proposals, a structure of nested committees called circles, and meeting processes that people do in policy meetings. Let's take a deeper look at this. Feedback questions and proposals mean that you put words in your proposals so that after you've implemented the proposal, you go back and see, did the proposal do what it was supposed to? If it was to solve a problem, did it solve it, and how did it? Do you want to change the proposal in any way? Do you want to keep it, change it, or if it's not working at all and it was a bad idea, throw it out? You ask questions that you put in the words of the proposal itself that you're later going to evaluate and measure the proposal after it's implemented to see if it works. This is one of the single best things I ever heard of. And that's what you do in sociocracy. A circle structure, nested committees called circles. Circles do work tasks, operations, meetings, work meetings, and policy meetings. And they do these 7 things. They create proposals, they do consent decision-making, which is the decision-making method. They select people for roles, they do role approval feedback, and consenting to circle members. Once again, 4 benefits if they meet the 4 necessary conditions, in my opinion. Everybody learns it, you use all the parts, not just some. Use it as your trainer taught you and not mix it together with consensus or voting, because then it doesn't work. And get periodic review trainings. Once again, the 4 necessary conditions. The benefits again. This is my next upcoming webinar. It's in February, March, and April. It's 10 weeks long. Why? Because I think the most important thing you can do for your community or any community is good governance. If you want, contact me and I will send you a link to this short video and these 2 handouts. And that's my brief presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And tell us a little bit more, how can we learn more about what you're offering? Because you clearly have a tremendous background and experience. And pulling up your kind of promotional postcard here, but tell us a little bit more about how people can learn from you, including the upcoming workshop or course that Brad mentioned, the 10-week online course here.
Yeah, I do this 10-week course on sociocracy. It's an online course. I used to do workshops, and now I do webinars. And it's got some features. You watch some videos ahead of time, short videos. of me presenting sociocracy. You read some handouts with lots of graphics in them. You talk with a buddy every week, a different person. You get a different person from the course, and you discuss the things that you just learned, and then you fill out a quiz together and send it in. And then we have a 2-hour live practice session where we just practice the thing we've just learned. And people take this information, they learn it really well, they learn it really fast, they love it, and they start using it in their group right away.
Fantastic.
So you can just email me, diana@ic.org, and I'll send you videos and handouts and my little promotional email. And my website, which now works, is dianaleaf.Christian.org. Easy.
I'm going to pull that up real quickly so everybody can see it. Here we go. All right. DianaLeafChristian.org. DIANA, Leaf, LEAFE, Christian, CHRISTIAN.org. Diana Leaf, with an E at the end of Leaf, Christian.org. And that's where we can get all that wonderful information. Thank you for laying out so beautifully, so clearly, a lot of just the basics of healthy community. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on this show. Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, now I get to go to Deborah, who is going to show. Whoops, there we go. Where's Deborah? There she is. Deborah, you're up to share a little bit about Tribalize.
Yes, so what we do on our show is we have a section, which we're in now, Global Peace Tribe Recommends, because there's so many amazing new virtual events, resources, and everything that's happening now. And the first thing we want to highlight is the Tribalize conference that Brad has created, and let you know what's going to be coming up. Because if you like what you saw here, this is a whole several-day conference of it. And it's going to be coming up April 1st through 4th in Grass Valley. And I'll bring Brad on now so we can talk a little bit more about it.
Well, one of the most important things that we're doing tonight is knowledge exchange. Nobody can hold all the information that these intentional communities require to build. So it's all about collaboration. It's all about bringing our gifts together and braiding them into this beautiful creation. Tribalize brings together all the different visionary leaders of this movement, and in one beautiful 4-day experience, you're able to really meet so many people who can help you understand the pathway forward. So I say we're bringing the dreamers, the designers, and the builders of this regenerative community movement. And one of the first things that I want to say we're doing is we're bringing together, I'm calling it a community congress, and we're inviting over 50 communities from around the world to come and present what they do at their particular respective communities. And that'll also create this beautiful little experience of unity across the movement. So if you can make it, and hopefully COVID will sort of diminish by the time March and April come around, make it to Grass Valley in Nevada City. It's beautiful here. There are more communities here popping up than anywhere in the planet right now. And we'll love to have you here if you can make it. So.
Thank you, Brad.
In the sense of the power of community, I'd like us all to just take a minute, and I'm going to pull that up one more time, and let's visualize. Let's use the power of our global peace tribe that this can happen. We can manifest that. It's going to work out in whatever way that we can come together and be together and hug each other and be in rooms together for Tribalize, the Regenerative Living Summit.
And this
1st through 4th.
And Scott, this really is the future we're creating. These visual tapestries are showing what's possible, and we all have to dream this in together. Thank you.
It's a beautiful vision. I mean, I just love this tapestry. It's gorgeous.
And that artwork is made by Davin Infinity, by the way.
So maximum grace for this vision to fully manifest. Maximum grace. Right. Well, thank you, Brad. You know, it is kind of the other side of what we're going to talk about next is for over 30 years, our good friend, Ken Kaufman, produced the New Living Expo. I spoke here many times. Deborah's been very involved with it. I'm sure many of you in the Bay Area went to it many, many times. Unfortunately, it was not able to be in the physical form, but Kenny, being the creative man that he is, put together a virtual version of the show. And wow, look at his lineup. It kicks off, I was looking at the schedule today, kicks off with Marianne Williamson in the morning. She's immediately followed by Michael Beckwith, and so it goes. Many of these people you've seen on Saturday Night Live. Of course, Marianne and Michael have been on a few times, John Gray. So it's going to be a terrific show. And the tickets are as low as $10. Now, we can all afford that. It's happening next weekend, December 5th and 6th. So want to encourage all of you, go check it out. And they've got not just these are like their highlight kind of keynote speakers, but when I was looking at the schedule, it looks like there's about 50 people. So there's a lot of speakers, some of whom you already know, some of your favorite people like Daniel Brinkley. He's an old friend of ours, Stephen Greer. But there's also always the people that you don't know. Look at all the people maybe you're meeting tonight for the very first time. So that's what's great about these shows. So please go to newlivingexpo.com and we'll see you virtually there. All right. But tomorrow on Saturday night, go to New Living Expo during the day, but then come and join us in the evening because we've got a great show all about ancient secret mysteries and the hidden history of the earth. That's what we're doing next Saturday night. And now to tell you about something really cool, I'm turning back over to Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And we love to bring new things that are coming onto the planet that really is new paradigm realities. And I think we've always heard that as things open up into the new world, there's going to be new levels of health manifestations, ways to treat our health. And we want to share something with you. And I personally, that's been very helpful to me. And this is in regards to frequency medicine. This is a new paradigm medical device that uses the power of healing frequencies. It's the Healy, if you've heard of that, or if you don't know about it, we're going to share a little bit about it now. Nikola Tesla said, if you want to understand the universe, try to understand it in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency. So the Healy is a wearable device that uses microcurrent and individualized microcurrent frequency to promote your health and vitality. I actually use it every day because I'm on computer nonstop, sincerely, about 12 hours a day. And I use this Healy to help balance me out from all that. And it's been extremely helpful. And what's great right now, which is why we're sharing it to you, because there's huge discounts that are happening for the next week where you can save $500 to $1,000. And it's also getting to be holiday gift time. So we wanted to share this with you that you could give to someone you love, or give it to yourself and love yourself. And so we're going to show a video just to share more about this technology.
Healy is new. Healy is different. And Healy is extremely versatile. This little game changer is the first smartphone-controlled wearable that provides easy support in all important areas of your life with the use of frequencies. Healy analyzes the frequencies you need right now. Then the smart wearable applies subtle currents and individualized frequencies to your body via its electrodes. It strengthens your balance and harmonizes imbalances. Fitness, holistic health, and inner and outer beauty. Healy, over 120 programs to provide energetical support for you, for your body and for your cells. Every single cell in our body is a small power plant that constantly produces energy. One thing is particularly important for this, the natural cell membrane voltage. And this is where the Healy comes in. With Nuno Nina's Gold Cycle programs that focus on rebalancing your cells, Healy also has suitable programs for many other applications on board. Programs supporting relaxation if you have a headache or back pain, but also for learning, concentration, or exams. Healy even offers support for mental balance, sleep, and stress. The Healy Beauty programs are supposed to support your inner and outer beauty energetically. In sports, the Healy is meant to promote performance, muscles, and regeneration. At home, or on the go, in your leisure time or at work. In our opinion, health begins with good balance in all areas of life. This is what Healy stands for, state-of-the-art wearable technology, made in Germany to the highest standards. Based on use by 2,000 practitioners worldwide, who have seen as many as 500,000 patients. Healy, for me, and for you, and for everyone.
Great. And now I'd like to introduce Annie Rogers, who's had a lot of experience with it, to come on and just say a few words. Annie, are you available?
Not on mute. Thank you. I'm wearing the Healy right here. You can see it connects to these wristbands. And I first got introduced to this because one of my friends who was a chiropractor sent me a video of someone who had early dementia, and it showed his brain scans before and after using the Healy. And I was like, oh my God, I have to have one. The thing is, I have a clinic in Costa Mesa, and we have all the fun frequency devices. We have the Beamer and the Biomat, the foot baths and the 3D body scan, and the Monocore, the Russian Monocore, and all these equipment are very, very expensive. You know, the Beamer 6,500, the 3D body scans 40,000. You know, so when the Healy came and it became something that's affordable for regular people to use, I got very, very excited about it. And I've had it for probably a year now and have hundreds of people who have, every single person loves it, especially when they actually get introduced to it and trained with it. But with the Healy, for myself, I was probably sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night, and I didn't really even know that I was sleeping so little. I just always had energy. I actually got the Healy watch too, and it was monitoring my sleep and recommending programs for me to do. I didn't know that there was an underlying level of stress. So it was having me do these different programs to reduce stress. And I went from 4 hours a night, it's sometimes 30 minutes of deep sleep, to 7 and 8 hours a night regularly, with an hour to an hour and a half of deep sleep. So for me, that's pretty tremendous. I've had it work for pain almost instantly. Within 24 hours, a certain major pain has been eliminated for me and many, many people. But even probably more importantly is the sense of well-being that comes with the Healy. I always think of it as tuning into your own frequencies within. The Healy is the frequency of energy that supports our cells. And our cells, when they get low energy, low voltage, disease happens. But if you can regenerate your cells, then you can prevent many diseases from happening, actually self-correct a lot of things too. So the Healy's being used by practitioners because you can get a higher model where you can scan and actually do remote frequency transmissions. You can actually send frequencies to people remotely. It's incredible for animals and pets. And if you don't have an animal or pet, it feels like one. It feels like your own personal friend, because you can just shift your energy at any point you want with the Healy. So as Deborah said, once or twice a year, they do a sale. And so right now is one of those sales. And so it's a great opportunity to buy one because you can save $1,000. The highest model was 2,500 and it's 1,500 now. And the model does more than every other device in my office. And it's like having your own portable Rife machine. So there's a link, we'll put it in the chat, that you can sign up with Deborah's group to get more information about it. And we'll be happy to hook you in.
Great. Thank you, Annie. I've known Annie for a long, long time. She's a lot of fun. And I got to be honest, you know, I work with Deborah every day. We're on the phone, we're on Zoom. And she was having this thing hooked up to her, and she kept saying, Scott, you got to get a Healy, you got to get a Healy. And I was like, right. But I saw her using it, and I bought one, and I've been using it. And I got to say, there's something to it. It's definitely cool. So Annie, it's great to see you again. And so everybody check out the Healy. You know, that is the wonderful thing about our world, is all the incredible innovations that are happening. So, and we'll continue to bring you those kinds of innovations. And now I'm putting it back to Brad, who's got an introduction for us. Hey, Brad, you're up.
Well, Stephen Brooks is no stranger to building communities. He's built more communities than anybody I know of down in Costa Rica. I think he must have gone down there about 20 years ago and developed one of the top permaculture education facilities on the planet called Punta Muna. And he's built other communities, one called Ecovia, and I forget the other one, Stephen, you can tell us, but the new one he's building is called Alegria Village. And it's very, very special. Hopefully you'll let us know a little bit about how that's going. But he's definitely one of the foremost, I won't call you an elder yet because your hair's not even gray. But he's definitely one of the Energizer bunnies of this movement. So Stephen, welcome.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. I was inspired by Diane's screen sharing, so I found a little presentation. Can I do that, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. You can screen share.
Awesome. All right, play. Hello, everybody. My name is Stephen Brooks, and I grew up in North Miami, Florida, in the suburbs. And as you know, the suburbs is this interesting reality where we go from our house to our car, from our car to the strip mall, to the strip mall to the car, back to the house. And all that interaction stopped between people. And yeah, it feels like, you know, in the end, it was a response to the crowded city. And I don't think there was like ill intention, but it definitely radically hurt the human connection in community. And I lived in, I guess the first kind of real eye opener for me was on October 14th, 1988. I found myself in the parking lot of the Miami Arena at my very first Grateful Dead concert. And it freaking blew my mind how great it felt, how I had never been so surrounded by like-minded people. And that just felt so right. And I knew I wanted more of that. I went and I spent a semester in Spain, in Sevilla, Spain, and I lived in this building in 1994, in this building of like a series of 10 buildings with busy 4-lane roads on either side. But you never needed to go to those 4-lane roads because all of the buildings had commercial downstairs. So there was restaurants and bars and nail shops and hair shops and cheese shops, and everything you possibly needed was downstairs of the building. So you never needed to get in a car. And I lived with this elderly woman, and we would walk through the plaza to the next building, to the store. And it was like walking, hey, hola, abuela, hola, Maria, hola, Pablo, hola, abuela. I was like ready for her to be like, hola, Big Bird, hola, Snuffleupagus. It felt like freaking Sesame Street. Everybody was so nice to each other. And we'd walk into the store, and as we're walking in, the shopkeeper's already getting my abuela's package ready because he knew her so well. And she didn't have to have her pocketbook or her purse with her, her wallet. She just signed because she was buying from people that she knew. And everywhere we went, it was like from someone she knew. It just felt so revolutionary. And another friend that I just wanted, on that note, I have this friend, Rolf Ruge, may he rest in peace. He started the Feria Verde here in Costa Rica, which is the green market. And every Saturday, after the market, he would do these huge lunches at his house, and he'd have 20, 30 of all the kind of eco activists of Costa Rica at his place. And he'd have, 10, 15 epic plates of food. And he would stand up in his deep voice and he would say, "No hay ningún, there's not one ingredient on this table that I don't know the first and last name of the producer." And he would say, "Those tortillas estaba sembrado," the tortillas were planted by Guillermo Esquivel, and the tortillas were pressed and made by his wife Esmeralda. And he would go around the table and introduce his food as if it was his, it was just created by his family. And it felt so right. And so I came to Costa Rica for the first time a year after that experience in Spain. And I fell in love with the country, how beautiful it was. And I made it to the Caribbean side. So Costa Rica has the Pacific and the Caribbean. And my first time on the Caribbean, it was like reggae on the beach, almost felt like Jamaica. It was such an incredible vibe. And I, one day decided to go to this town called Bribri, which is the administrative center of the indigenous people. And on my way there, I'm meandering through beautiful jungle. And then all of a sudden I come around this corner, and as far as my eye could see were banana plantations. And it was kind of like, and I decided to, wow, what's going on here? So I decided to drive in and get a closer look. And I went on this little dirt road right into the plantation. And all of a sudden I watched this airplane out of the corner of my eye, looking like it was going to crash with a big stream of smoke behind it. And it came right over my car. And all of a sudden my face and my eyes were burning, and realized it was a crop duster just spraying the bananas. And after it flew over my car, it flew right over a playground full of indigenous children playing soccer. And it was like, emergency brake on my life. Like, how can we be doing this? Is this really the best we can do, humanity? These beautiful indigenous people who treat the earth like it's an extension of our bodies. We're spraying them with neurotoxic chemicals so we can have flawless bananas. Like, how can we be doing anything else but trying to change this? And so yeah, pretty much from that moment on, I've been dedicated. And I really started thinking about this idea, and it started kind of in Spain, this idea of design. Like, how can we design our realities to foster community? And what is the design of where I grew up in the suburbs? Or what is the design of the banana plantation? And what is not only the physical design, but what is the socioeconomic design? And how can we shift that? So immediately I tried to think about what I could do about the banana plantations. And I started a tour company here in Costa Rica and started bringing high school students and college students down to Costa Rica on these tours, really trying to show how beautiful and magical and incredible Costa Rica is, but also show the reality of the rainforest destruction, the reality of the cultural decimation, the reality of the agro-industrial madness that was going on. And then I wanted to show, not to send the students home all depressed, I wanted to show solutions. And that's where Punta Mona was born. I first got there in 1995. I met my neighbor, Patty, who was a Caribbean elder. When I met him, he was 67 years old. He died in my arms at 83 in 2013. And he was such a wise man. I remember one of my favorite quotes of his. He looked at me, he goes, "Boy, if you plan things right, all you do is reap. If you plan things right, all you do is reap." And that line is kind of like just the synthesis of what is permaculture. It's like, how can we design things well so we could just prosper? And not only how can we prosper, how can the ecosystems prosper and all the neighbors and people around us prosper? How can we design for that? So Punta Mona became a demonstration. So Patty lived in Punta Mona. There's no road to get there. You can see you guys can see my screen, right? Yeah. Am I good, Sharon? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you still see Punta Mona.
Okay,
and you're
cool,
on
cool.
the side, so we see you both.
Perfect. So you can see the little boat there on the bottom. You can only get to Punta Mona by boat. There's no road to get there. So it really forced us to try to figure out a lot of different ways of living from, I grew up in the suburbs. Every time I turned on the water, it just came, or I flushed the toilet, it just went, or I turned on the lights. 99.9% of the times it went on. I had no connection to it. And so all of a sudden in Punta Mona, this kid from the suburbs, all of a sudden I had to really connect with that reality. And we became really into agriculture and food. And As you can see, it's totally incredible. We're in the middle of a wildlife refuge, so we're completely surrounded by primary forest. And the farm that we bought was an old Caribbean village of 60 families that little by little, they all left because of progress. The road never made it there. And my neighbor, Patty, was the last one to live there. And my friend Silvio gave me one cutting of a plant called chaya. And when I first moved there with Patty, I was eating fish, yucca, and plantains basically every day. And it was kind of like Bubba Gump. We'd have like fish cakes, yucca fritters, plantain mash, and we'd come up with all these creative ways to eat it. And then all of a sudden I got this cutting of chaya, which was this edible green from Mexico. And just from one little stick, all of a sudden I had unlimited greens. So I started thinking, wow, I want to find all the incredible sticks, all the incredible plants out there that can make life better. I consider myself an ethnobotanist. I study the relationship between humans and plants. I've traveled the world seeking interesting plants for all that make life better. And we've been teaching about it at Punta Mona and spreading seeds and plants. And it's unreal, the connection with the food from the field to the plate and the cooking of it and just the ceremony and the ritual of every meal there. And people have been coming from all around the world to experience. Often at Punta Mona, where we'll serve meals that there's ingredients meeting for the first time in the history of humanity. And it's super cool. We have one of the largest collections of useful plants on earth. This is one of my favorite plants right here. It's called peach palm or pehibaya, and it's the fruit of the heart of palm. And it's one of the most delicious foods that's pretty much unknown outside of Costa Rica, Panama, and Colombia. This is cacao, and we grow a lot of cacao, one of our favorite, most important medicines. This is a jackfruit, and it just so happened a few hours ago, I just picked this one, so I thought I'd show it to you right outside in the community.
Whoa!
Yeah, and this isn't even a very big one. Jackfruit's incredible. Permaculture is based on perennials. Some people wear crosses around their neck. I wear a breadfruit leaf, which is in the family of the jackfruit, and these are all so this can get ripe and it's sweet like a juicy fruit flavored gummy bear, or green, it's like a vegetable. And so we have trees full of vegetables, and the breadfruit is the same way. And it's coming from perennials. So instead of having to till and to constantly work the land, all we do is harvest. All we do is tend the food forest, which is such an incredible revolution in agriculture. These are the breadfruits. That's my friend Paul Zink, who's a big spreader. As we're so far into Punta Mona, we figured we've been doing it kind of like hippie style for so long. So we just started taking it to the next level. And this actual, those courses were supposed to be this past July and this past September. Obviously that all got canceled. Like probably everyone here, all the speakers are doing everything online. And we currently have 207 people in our online permaculture course from 27 countries through Ecoversity. And we just launched our second course, which is called Embody Your Purpose. And it's just incredible. I never would imagine on Zoom the intimacy and the love and the connection and the transference of information it's just been overwhelmingly special. These are mangosteens, the queen of all fruits. So incredible. So we not only are the agriculture, but we also have been growing a lot of bamboo and we're just experimenting with all different kinds of building materials. And as a matter of fact, yesterday, we're in the community in Alegria Village. We brought these people in that were making, instead of hempcrete, everybody's so crazy about hempcrete right now. Hemp is an annual crop that they were going to bring from the States to make hempcrete here. Instead, we're figuring out how to do it with bagaces, which is the byproduct of the sugarcane industry. So it's the same kind of hempcrete, but instead of using hemp, we're using the byproduct of the sugarcane industry, which is already a waste here. So yeah, Punta Mona has been just such a epicenter of so many things. In 2005, my dad was retiring from 35 years as a dentist, and he was, it was great what we were doing in Punta Mona, but meanwhile, I was ready to have children. My parents were getting older. It felt like a great solution to teach and to collect plants, but this world needed more. It needs more communities that care for our elders and care for our children. So we raised some money and we bought this property, and we set a very clear criteria. We knew we wanted to be in Costa Rica because it's epic. We knew that we wanted to be closer to San Jose because Punta Mona is a journey. We wanted to be under an hour from San Jose. We wanted to be between 400 and 700 meters above sea level for the great climate and the great climate for agriculture. And then we wanted to be able to lie on big boulders in the sun and then roll into crystal clear pools and drink the water. This is our dream. We can create the criteria as specific as one. And the more specific you get with your criteria, the better chance you're going to find what you're looking for. And then another important part of the criteria is we're looking for land that was already radically degraded so that we can come in and we could regenerate it. And so Ecovia is on 46 acres, and we're currently, that's where my house where I'm sitting right now. We're 45 families from 22 countries, and we have 45 children in the school that the parents co-created. And I'll show you the school in a couple slides. And it's pretty incredible, especially during these times of COVID. Like, you don't need to go anywhere. When you're 45 families, the organic cashew farmers come right to our door because there's 45 of us. The fishermen right from the port, the organic vegetable farmers from the highlands growing the things that we can't grow. We get big. Today's Saturday. I have a huge basket over there of all the greens and veggies that came from these gardens that you see here in the picture. This is the school Casa Sula, which is it's an unschooling kind of philosophy with a group from Ecuador called Grupo Orion, and it's pretty interesting. And about 2.5 years ago, we knew it was time to grow. 45 families felt good, but we needed more. We needed more 12-year-olds. We needed more people that were interested in different, the same interests. And we needed more people so we can have a restaurant, we can have a food store. It felt like we needed more critical mass. So we purchased next door, did another small round of funding, and we bought 170 acres next door. And that's currently called Alegria Village. And what we thought would be several years in the making, I just want to give a big shout out and love and blessing to my dear friend, Zac Efron, who decided to come visit us down here and did this show on Netflix called Down to Earth. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The 3rd episode, he came to Costa Rica and I was his guide. And it was basically like the most epic commercial for all the projects that we're doing. And it was the #1 show globally on Netflix for 10 days. And when we thought we were going to just kind of start neighborhood by neighborhood, we've sold almost 100 lots in the last 3 months to people from 21 countries. And it is freaking incredible. The vibes, and the people are coming down are crying when they see their land, and everyone is already falling in love with each other through the WhatsApp groups and the monthly neighbors call. And I want to give a big shout out to Brad, who really believed in my partner Kara and I, and really supported us on a tour that we did a few months ago when this was really just kind of unfolding. And Brad, we haven't spoken, but it is unbelievable what's happening here. It just feels like we are onto something here. And
very exciting. Stephen, you need to wind it up because we're going a little over. So
okay, cool. So just from vision to reality, this was the vision of a garden that now is that. That's a 20-meter dome there. That's the kind of drone. Yeah, it's exciting things happening. Food is pumping. That's their yoga shala over that garden, praying over our trees. The bigger plan is bigger than this. The communities are just the communities, but beyond that, we're trying to really figure out how can we do this 1,001 hectares at a time, and really create a replicable model that we could do everywhere, incorporating conservation, reforestation, regenerative agriculture, communities, event space, and and education.
Stephen, thank you so much. And clearly there's so much you have to share, and it's very, very inspiring. I'm like, okay, I'm coming to Costa Rica. we got to move forward. So for more information, baby, if people just go to puntamona.org, PUNTAMONA, puntamona.org.
Yeah, and I'll put all my info in the chat, because that Punta Mona is our farm, but Alegria Village is the new community. But I'll put it all there in the chat.
Okay, great.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it, Scott.
Hey, thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you. Whew. I haven't been to Costa Rica. I have a lot of friends and clients that have been there, some of whom are relocating, and it clearly is a significant place to build community. So, and I love Stephen's energy and enthusiasm. It's pretty awesome. Well, it's time for me to share again some of you who have been generous and donated. And again, I really want to thank you. And I also, about a third of the people who've donated are doing it anonymously. So those of you who are anonymously donating, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really, everything, whether it's $5 or $50 or $100, whatever it is, we really appreciate it. So, but to the people whose names I do have, thank you, Melissa Pierce, Milikai Zimoniak, I hope I got that right, Karen Carrieri, Janice Hall, Lori Martinez, Kathleen Robertson, Anonymous, Gabrielle Lamond, Anonymous, Julia Stoffer, and Jula Grove, Julie Debbie, all in a row, really. We had a Julia, and a Julie all in a row. It's a sign from God. Anonymous, and then back to Veronica Johnson. Thank you, everybody, and your donations really mean a lot to us. We've got two more wonderful things for you. So I get to introduce you to Sherry Herndon. And Sherry, please turn on your camera. There she is. Sherry is a true Renaissance woman. She is one of those people who's just doing a lot. And it's funny, when I was talking to her earlier today, I said, well, what do you want to promote? She said, oh, well, I'm kind of humble. There's not that much going on. And we talked a little bit more. And she goes, well, I have been offered 2 different television shows that look like they're going to happen. And like, okay, that's Sherry. She's an evolutionary leader, a social architect, and truly a catalyst for transformation, sharing her passion for accelerating regenerative culture, community, and movement, building with a focus on activating true collective intelligence and anchoring everything with the wisdom of the heart and the feminine intelligence. Sherry, I think you've got something kind of special for us, and we're looking forward to hearing it.
Wow. Well, I just have loved everything that I've been hearing. It's really incredible. And I have been to Punta Mona, and it's an incredible place to experience. And so, yeah, thank you so much. It feels really great to be here. A couple things I want to say before I share this poem song is just this idea that community is about a structure of belonging. And, it's like we all are longing to belong more because we are all connected. Everything is relational. And so what I'm going to share is this poem by my friend Theo Grace. And this is a reel and a song. It's really a transmission. And I just want to invite you to be listening to your note in all of this, like the world we're co-creating. You have a unique note in this. That's how we create community, that kind of synergy. So thank you, Theo, for writing this and bringing it through. And I've made it kind of my mission to share it. So we are the seeds of the earth in the midst of a rebirth. We are the young and the old and the stories not yet told. And we have come from afar, beyond the stars, and we've come to celebrate everything we are. We sing hooray for the end of slavery, hooray for the end of suffering, hooray for the end of all the fighting. Finally, 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 I declare everyone, everywhere be set free from the fear and the pain and the shame we release. No longer prisoners in our very own minds, no longer struggling and fighting to survive. We revive to find the keys within our reach, and now we thrive, sharing everything we need. We are free from the poverty. We don't believe in scarcity. There's more than enough for you and me, just like the air we breathe. in and breathe out those stale emotions that just need some good old-fashioned composting. Yeah, break it back down into earth, because everybody here knows how to have a rebirth. You throw a seed in the mother fertile dirt, and you watch the life give life, give life, give life, giving life. Because there's only one event here, and it's clear once you can hear the one song. Some call it the universe. We're all singing the one song. We're all singing the you and I verse. Some call it God. All it is, was, or will ever be. Whatever I know, it is within you and me. So we're gonna party straight into infinity. So you can shout hip hop, hooray, yee-haw. And we all at the same time, we shine in the divine mind, which makes all of your struggles and sorrows connected to mine. So bust open those judgments with patience and pour some love and understanding into the painful places, because we're healing it. Yeah, we're gonna decompose our shit. We're gonna rearrange and reintegrate every single way we live by synergizing new art, making sparks in the dark with the fire in our heart, bursting into who we are. Do you ever feel like you're about to collapse and explode, especially in these days? Well, that's the perfect curve of the divine ratio. So fold into the twinings and spiralings of a golden Om. Let fresh new moments love and behold you like a newborn baby in his grandpa's arms. The light just arriving from a distant star. It's everywhere we are once we look, even in the simple complex melody and hook called the one song. So here's the last verse, but it really just keeps on going. And the one thing that never ever stops flowing is awareness. Are you aware of it? It's never left, never will, always full, always still, and it's amazing, eternally unchanging, holding every single thing we can possibly imagine in our experience, sinking just under the surface as we open these moments up, and dance as much as you can. Trust in the design. It's perfect like you and I. Dance as much as you can. Trust in the divine. It's perfect like you and I. All we're saying is you can say yes. All we're saying is you can say yes to the one song. The he verse, the she verse, the we verse, the you verse, the me verse, the we verse. Now it's time for your verse. Sing whatever you want, speak whatever you want. Say your prayers to the universe. Sing your praise to the verse. This is your verse.
Thank you so much. That was really, really beautiful.
Thank you, Theo. Thank you, everyone. And just really quickly, I just wanted to say, do go to my Facebook page. My website is in between one web person and another, so it's coming, but it'll be fun to be able to share what's coming up. And I do have a new television show. It's probably going to be called Awakening Together. And so I'm just really great to be here with you all, awakening together.
Yeah, because she didn't have a website. That's why I didn't go there. But let's just all know that wonderful things are on the way for Sherry. And Sherry, I'm sure we'll see you again on the show soon. Yeah. Thank you so much. Deborah, who's up?
Yeah, so we have one more amazing speaker, and I'm really happy that Lotus Sattva is going to wrap this up because she has been involved with community for over 20 years. She's a social innovator. She's a catalyst for co-creative culture, and she leads conscious community initiatives. And she's founded multiple communities and was named the Ambassador for Change by Bioneers and Lucidity Festival. And she is currently coordinating people and programs at Sundari Gardens on the Big Island of Hawaii. So she is a lover of community, and this is her mission. So I'd love Lotus to come on and share her beautiful words of wisdom to sum all this up. Blessings, Lotus.
Thank you, Deborah. And what an honor to be on this call with so many of the mentors who I've met over the years. Just so grateful to see you all. Won't name you by name, but you know who you are. And Deborah especially, I actually met early on in this whole journey, and it's just full circle right now being back on this call. So really grateful. Thank you all so much. And yeah, I'm sitting here in our yoga studio with a mural of Pele behind me at a beautiful 10-acre ocean view retreat center called Sundari Gardens that my amazing co-creators, Christine Marie and John Shiva, founded a few years ago to be a center for restoring a culture of oneness, to provide an immersive experience for people in the interconnectedness of all life and creation. And they've had a cycle of doing a lot of development on the land. It was actually part of old kind of GMO monocrop that has gotten reclaimed, and it was a bunch of raw land that they've just turned into the Garden of Eden with tons of edibles and medicinal plants and tons of beautiful gardens and sculptures. And they had had some programs and events, but a lot of what was happening was an Airbnb to just, you know, keep the place populated. But as, you know, so many of us have had with the pandemic, there was this great pause where Hawaii sort of stopped having tourism for a little while. And so the Airbnb stopped, and it was an opportunity for really looking, and I think all of us are doing this right now, at what is the true alignment and how did this property want to express itself. And we're all in this process right now where this great pause, even though it's such a challenge of having people, you know, feel isolated and kind of shattering our old culture, it's actually that compost for the new culture. And I call myself a social permaculturist. So I'm always cross-pollinating different communities and facilitating co-creative culture, which to me is both about collaborating with other humans, but also collaborating with nature and being in the flow, in the emergence of what wants to come through. And so this whole alignment between myself and Christine Marie and John Shiva has been a complete co-creation beyond what any of us could have imagined. I have been working in this field for a long time, and just doing little micro communities in different places that have always been about incubating co-creative cultures. So rather than it being just about being a residential community, it's kind of like what we heard earlier about having this hybrid of a land-based center that also connects with supporting co-creation in the larger community and the larger culture. So what New Earth Mandala, which is the program and community side of this project, aspires to do is to actually have communities all over the world that are connected to a consistent culture, and to have the ability for people to be both place-based but also traveling and able to access this different culture from different places. And so we're doing both a local and a global model. The local model is this experimental community here on the Big Island, and we have a group of amazing founding residents who all have backgrounds in different aspects of New Earth culture, and we're really creating this emergent field rather than having a guru direct this evolution of this project. We're actually allowing the leaders to really help inform and influence it, both those who live on site, the larger community in Puna on the Big Island where we are, as well as a global community. So we've been building a global community through an online, with everything going on Zoom, online leadership series we called New Earth Leadership, and featuring different teachers and helping to bring people together. And that's actually how the majority of the residents who just moved here found out about us and will continue to. So we are looking at building upon this monthly call series that we've been doing around New Earth leadership, and actually in 2021, creating a curriculum that is informed in large part by what we are living in this living experiment here at Sundari Gardens, as well as connecting with any other communities around the world that are interested in also going through this journey of really creating like a template for how we can all ascribe to a New Earth culture in a way that also embraces diversity and is adaptable for different people and different places. And so one of the ways that we embody this, it's much more about living it for us than just thinking about it, is starting with coming up with a map of our values that informs what this whole template is going to be fleshing out into. And so we sat and we looked through lots of different principles that we all had brainstormed, and we came up with something I kind of call spiritual permaculture, a spiritual permaculture map that starts with the universe, the conscious loving universe, and goes from the universe into our awareness, and focusing on awareness through meditation and studies, and then going into embodiment and the choices that we're making and how we're living our lives, and doing movement and eating healthy, nutritious foods, and moving into relationship and how we're relating consciously, and looking at the opportunity for relationship to, like Sherry said, help us wake up together. We can't see our blind spots alone. And we have coherence practices that we've already started doing on a daily basis that's really embodying that, which for me is one of my greatest passions. And then all of that leading into leadership, which I love. Oh my gosh, everyone on this call, but Stephen, especially what you're doing down in Costa Rica. Please, let's continue to spread these models. Your father spoke at Envision Festival a couple of years ago and shared the story about how he invested his retirement into your community and encouraged other baby boomers to do that, other true elders to be a part of contributing the wealth that has been generated into the future. And that is definitely what Christine Marie and John Shiva have been doing here. And we would love to have you involved, all of you, either to come visit us and do a personal or couples or family retreat. If you're a leader, we'd love to host you and have you come do a retreat here on these amazing grounds. And then we also are partnering with people in the local community to offer programs here, so that it's really an immersive experience when people are here. And one example of how that sparked in just the last couple of weeks, because we just literally got on the land a month ago, is that we do meditation and movement practices every day together that just, it's like entrainment. So rather than being at a party where everybody's drinking and that encourages you to drink, we're in this very healthy lifestyle and culture that when you're here, it's just natural that you'll get inspired to be a part of that. And then ideally bring that back home to your community and help to create that kind of entrainment and immersion for yourself back home as well. And then we'll be supporting that through online programming with the global community and launching that very soon here in 2021. So yeah, very grateful to get to briefly share a little bit about this amazing brand new community that is about to create some major ripples right here on the East Coast of really the edge of the world in Puna. So good to be with you all. You can check us out at sundarigarden.com, and then more info about all those opportunities to engage is sundarigardens.com/New Earth Culture.
And first of all, thank you for being so patient and waiting. Second, I love those frogs in the background, the mating sounds of those frogs. And it's Sundari Gardens, spelled S-U-N-D-A-R-I Gardens, GARDENS.com. And I really appreciate on this flyer the beautiful New Earth Leadership core values: awareness, embodiment, relationships, and leadership. Very powerful. And thank you, Lotus. I also want to acknowledge that Lotus's router went out and she went running across the street and got one from her neighbors so she could be with us. These are the things people do to make sure that our show actually happens. So God bless you, and you're doing great work, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you again on the show and just continue to track what you and all the amazing people are doing. All right, Brad, we do still have one more song from Elisa. So I'm going to turn over to Brad for a moment just to introduce her. And this can be a wonderful way to close out our show.
Well, I don't think Elisa needs much introduction, and we're all tired and ready to go. So Elisa, please carry us home, serenade us back to the land, back to our hearts.
Let's all just breathe together here. Dropping in, integrating all of this beautiful information and this community that's here, and all of these people that we can now continue to create and collaborate with and learn from. It's pretty exciting. And this is a song honoring that connection, that human connection, that belonging. Place your hand in mine. Let this love now be your guide. Wherever you go, trust your heart will find your way on through this night. And we let love in light die. And we let it out, la da 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 da. And let love be. And let love out. El mundo está cambiando, mi amor. Todo está creciendo, un nuevo corazón. Y ábrete, 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 corazón. Ábrete, 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 corazón. I'll be here for you like you were there for me. This is how it is meant to be. I'll be here for you like you are here for me. The glory of what can be. I'll be here for you like you were there for me. This is how it is meant to be. I'll be here for you as you are here for me. The beauty of community. That's right. So place your hand in mine. Let this love now be your guide. Wherever we go, trust our hearts will find their way on through the night. Thank you, thank you. And we let love in.
Thank you. I love your guitar. I love your voice. Love your words. What a discovery Elisa Rose is. And you can get more of Elisa by going to elisarose.com. That's spelled ELISAROSE.com. Or find her at Elisa Rose Musica. She's on YouTube and Facebook, and so such exquisite music. My God. Thank you so very, very much.
Oh, my total pleasure. And please, all of you that are watching, reach out. Reach out. Come dance with me. Come sing with me. I love activating the voice with you. So let me support you in that. If you want to take that journey with me, I'm here. Yeah.
Beautiful. That's a heck of an invitation. That's a wonderful invitation. Thank you. Wow. Well, It's that time. We we brought our shows down to 2.5 hours. This one ended up being 3.5. It was definitely worth it. It was amazing. So I'm going to bring Deborah and Brad on. Just thank you, Brad, for bringing so many of your friends into the Saturday Night Alive world. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm just grateful for all the contributions all the speakers and musicians made, and we're all building the tapestry of life, one gift at a time.
Absolutely. Well, I know that we'll be seeing you next year in the spring, and hopefully seeing you on this show and also in person in Grass Valley that first weekend of April.
So.
Deborah, another show.
Yes, thank you all. Amazing presenters. I mean, the shows we do are amazing, but again, this was really amazing. And it's so great to see the interweaving of us all, because this has been a passion for all of us for so long, and we're just all taking it to the next level. And really what it's about is sharing the love. That's the bottom line that we're doing here, is really sharing our hearts, our loves, our passion, and sharing the love. So thank you, Brad. Thank you, Shariah, who is also behind the scenes helping. Thank you to all the presenters and the musicians for creating such beauty and love. And be with us next week, December 5th, History's Mysteries, Ancient Advanced Spiritual Civilizations and How They Inform Us Now. So we really go all over with what's happening now. And William Henry, Trish McCannon, Dr. Sam Ogdenich, Michael Feely, Brad Olson, and incredible music again. So it's going to be an amazing show. So we'd love for you to join us. We've got lots of other shows in December as well. And just again, so much love. Thank you.
I went ahead and put the spotlight on everybody, since we've got this remarkable group of people still with us. And you are still with us as well. So thank you, everybody, for watching on Facebook in our Zoom room. Still got over 150 people here. It's amazing. And thousands watching on Facebook or watching our replays. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful Sacred Sunday tomorrow, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care, everybody, and let's all be grateful.